Okay, I think we're here. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Roll for Bull. I am your dungeon master, Ben Competence. Ben, this is, of course, the final stream of the year. Our little D&D shindig. Um, Glad to have you all. We are wrapping up a pretty significant part of the storyline today. And also, there are going to be emotions and also maybe celebrations, but probably a lot of just anger. I don't know. Um, Let me put on the party music that I got. Yeah. Okay. The players can hear that too. Um, Good evening. Okay, so I will introduce this campaign and then we'll just get to it. The players are doing Odyssey of the Dragon Lords. It is a Dungeons and Dragons campaign inspired by Greek mythology. These four heroes of prophecy. There's 6 months of storyline, so I'm gonna condense it. These four heroes have been told that they have to fulfill a large prophecy to save many of the intelligent races on this continent due to some bad feelings from between the Titans and the gods. They are wrapping up the final task right now, lighting the mithril forge that will allow them to craft the weapons that can hurt Titans and gods. This does end the beginning chapter of the story, which took 6 months. And was anyway. These are your wonderful dragon lords and heroes. I'm going to introduce each of them. When I introduce them, they are free to introduce themselves, their character, and I want to give them a prompt each time. This I'm going to ask them the best thing that happened to them in 2021. It was a terrible year. It was an awful. You look at me. It was an awful year. But there's got to be something. So we're going to go through, and I think I know who I just gave this to. Reed. You know what? Actually, I'm going to do it this way. Tammy, do you want to go first? You're muted.
No,
Alright.
let him go
No.
first.
All right, Tammy.
No, I think you want to go first.
No, well, I mean, Tammy. If Tammy doesn't have anything from 2021, that's fine.
Yeah.
Oh,
They just put together or what? Like
That's.
that
I mean,
would
that's. I can roll
I'm
again.
Tammy. Nope, I'm Tammy. I play Kiki, a Triton barbarian who's pretty badass.
Mm-hmm.
And the best part of 2021 for me, I'd say, happened a couple days. Like, everybody, I got engaged. To this wonderful goofball, Euphemian / Reed.
Just one second. And 1 second. That is fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Uh, that is fantastic. Then I guess I'm going to go over to Reed. Can you can introduce yourself? And I mean, Tammy just took yours, but if you have anything else you want to say.
Well, I made a pretty cool Reddit post, I guess.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, Reddit's very important, folks. You have to be networking.
But of course, I am Reed. I play Euphemian, and yeah, I proposed to Tammy on Christmas.
That's fantastic. What'd you say?
And I said yes.
Oh yeah, that's wonderful. Hello, Tammy's mom. Welcome, welcome. Um, Congratulations to you two. I'll get back to that in a second if I can finish the intros. Jen, feel free to introduce yourself.
Well, my name is Crayorin. Most people call me Cray. I die a lot. Oh, I'm an elf monk. Best thing of 2021 that's happened to me? Well, I spent some time in a hot tub in the mountains, so that was kind of neat.
That's wonderful.
So
That's great.
That's pretty cool. With my husband, of course. I mean, not just by myself. It was cool.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
And
That's
last
about it.
last is would be Allie. Sorry, I'm checking my 90 windows. Allie, feel free to introduce yourself and your character.
Okay. I'm Allie, and my character is Callista, who is a Satyr Bard Warlock multiclass. And let's see, best thing that happened to me in 2021. Um, hmm. I mean, so like, my niece was born early this year, and
Oh.
my sister-in-law got pregnant, so that's two. But
I
as
don't.
far as like to me, honestly, like it's cheesy, but I started playing D&D as a player. That was fun.
That's fantastic.
Woo!
That's part of us.
She
I feel like I
fucking
gotta count my nieces,
she
or my niece
fucking came for
companion.
your crown, you two. You're like, oh, I got engaged, and she's like, yeah, well, two new lives, two new births, and it's just incredible. She's dove in,
Give
swinging.
it time. If it happened to me, maybe that would be competitive. But
That's fantastic. So yeah, uh, Tammy and Reed, you two are engaged. Congratulations, that's wonderful. I'm really happy and excited for you. Um, as we discussed this before, but for this session, I'm throwing balance a little out the window for a bit in honor of this. You two can get advantage on saving throws whenever you're within 30 feet line of sight for each other for this session. Um,
Woohoo!
no in-canon explanation, because we all know what it is. Um,
Out cannon explanation.
out-canon explanation. Um, she she is attuned to a ring of bonding. It's incredible. This is wonderful. Let me see. So the heroes have lit the mithril forge that will let them forge the weapons that will battle gods. This completes everything that they have in place. The Oracle Versi laying out this plan. There's no further details as to what happens next. So these four players genuinely do not know what's next in the master plan. The forge was lit by a salamander, a fire spirit, that was kept underground as a prisoner for 500 years. After some negotiations, they convinced her to light it one more time in exchange for her freedom. And the contract has been upheld by both sides. There was some roughness there, we'll say. There's a young Cerberus, a powerful three-headed dog, that was guarding the forge, but Allie had other ideas. Continues to break this game. All of you do. This is the Roll for Bull group. Does anybody
Ray
have any?
dies. There's nothing that he breaks here. He breaks.
That's
A
true.
lot.
everything breaks him.
I was asked about leveling. You guys will be level 5 at the end of the session no matter what happens. Basically because I was looking through my notes and I saw that I should have given you guys permission to level, but as soon as the forge was lit, but then I didn't understand that until earlier today and I didn't want to spring that on you. So, are there any last notes before we jump in?
Nope, I think we're good to go.
Okay. Then we're going to immediately rip the happy music out by the roots of it, because here we go. The 5 of you, counting you 4 heroes and Kyra, are standing. You feel this incredible heat pouring from the next room. The mithril forge, powered by magma, and steam hissing out of different spots in the ground, just like running through, and just all this lava pouring. As you see this massive structure come to life, a machine larger than I would say many of you have ever seen. Just the floor panels, the floors panels just releasing the steam, magma pouring everywhere. All of these, I would say, just different gears and things turning, keeping the machine functioning. The amount of heat and power that it takes to work with the types of metals that are needed to harm a god are so intense that it takes magma and the whole of this floor in full function to do it. And even then, it takes a master of what they do. The machines are operating. The salamander looking at all of you with exhaustion, hatred, and as her mind clears from the rage she was in before, more disappointment. Kyra looks at each of you, not saying anything. The three-headed Cerberus looks around, and two of the heads are looking at the forge, and one of them looks at Callista and says, "It is hot here. We do not prefer it. Change it. Change it back."
I mean, is there a way that you could maybe go?
I was brought here by Lutheria. I was told to guard this place. It's only our alliance that prevents me from... And you hear the one on the left side turn and look at you. "We are so hungry."
Have you had, when was the last time you ate? And what do you like to eat that isn't Seder?
And the one on the right just says, "Meat. Flesh. We feast." And he sniffs for a little bit, and the first head says, "I agree. There was some meat previously offered, at the very least. If we cannot enjoy the meal that we want." And you see him like drool a little bit. Just says, "At the very least, whet our appetites."
We
Absolutely.
have it.
I'm sorry, what was that?
There's a death dog.
Someone's audio is echoing really bad, Jim, when you talk.
Okay.
I don't know whose it is.
Really softly.
Actually, give me 1 second. Can you just say anything? At full volume?
Anything to go send the death dog maybe into the maw of the Cerberus.
Okay.
Is that better?
Okay, yeah. And you see one of the little two-headed dogs leans up and just, doesn't really understand what you're saying.
Oh, I'm not talking to him. I'm talking to Callista, trying to be like, maybe one of the death dogs.
Oh no, you say that, and the other one just sort of hears like dog and looks up is all. They don't understand what you're saying.
I mean, they haven't, like, done anything to us, though. I was thinking maybe, like, there are definitely some corpses, like, up. We can just take the elevator.
I mean, as impractical as that is, the problem is that we've also got to gain access to that area. It is the forge. I have to imagine Vulcan will want to be there at some point.
Kyra goes.
I mean,
Kyra says the Vulcan would. She says anybody could use the forge, but they would need to know how. It's Vulcan knows a lot about it. He could teach somebody.
Yeah, he told us he'd help us once we got the forge lit.
She goes, "We could ask him." Well, I don't think he'll want to do this, but we could ask him. Salamander just... What's that?
I don't know. Seems like it might be Vulcan's problem when he gets here.
Let's let him deal with the dog.
Kyra goes, "Don't we need the forge, though?" She never told us why it needs to be lit.
So, but maybe we can, come to an agreement with the dog, and then it won't matter that he's there.
And she just sort of looks around like she's thinking about something and just then looks down. And then you hear this voice go, "You could just kill him." And you see the salamander behind you just exhaustedly in the magma, and she just says, "He's in your way. He's not going to be easy to negotiate with. He's been here. I've seen him, and he's a problem for you. Why don't you just kill him?"
Doesn't seem like we might need to.
She just rolls her eyes and looks away. The young Cerberus just looks at you guys and she says, "You are driving me away from this place. I am choosing not to eat all of you, purely out of my respect." And he turns and looks at Callista. And
Were the
says,
death dogs? I know I'm small, but were they small enough that I could maybe like drag one?
They're about a medium size, so they're about the size of you. If you want to drag one to him to be eaten.
Not the living ones. Go upstairs
Oh.
and grab one of the corpses.
Oh yeah, you could do that. I'd basically have you run it like the half movement rules.
Okay.
I mean, does that sphere thing work? Could we? I mean, I know it kind of stopped working, but could it work against? And
Salamander looks at you and she goes, "What do you mean?"
Well, I mean, it was used on you. Can't it be used
I
on that?
have 4 javelins. I don't want to use her weapon. It's just, I'm a little bit afraid that, you know, if
Allie,
we
it's
throw
your...
one at it, if we throw a javelin at it and it gets really pissed off and it's going to kind of break its way through the doorway here, that's kind of holding it back from us.
He also could like break the actual forge area.
We were discussing what to do about the Cerberus, who was kind of tolerating you guys barely. Euphemian was exploring the regions and found that there was a dock nearby. What was I going to say? I would say that, yeah, the dock would be way the hell down. It would be mostly obscured by the waterfall. But, yes. You guys are down here. It is anybody's action.
Any meat down there?
I would say you can hear that, yeah.
Just a pathway and a dock. Potential way out, I suppose.
And you
A
just
dot?
hear...
What's a dot? I can't.
I'll ignore her.
Kyra just goes, "Wait, could we have just gone in from there this whole time?"
It seems very likely.
Son of... yeah, the salamander looks at you all and just says, "He's right there. You could take him." And she looks
Why are
at...
you so violent?
What'd you say?
Why are you so violent?
I'm just...
Like, I get that you don't like us because, like, we're associated with stuff that you don't, you know, that you've got a whole thing, but, like,
That has
did it do something to you?
That has nothing to do with what I think of you right now.
Allie, I think she just wants some entertainment.
Oh.
She looks at Craven and she goes, "No, I don't think that you should hurt him at all. I think he's just here. I don't like him, but he's
Well,
just
do you want to
here."
help us?
To answer your question, we both know that this ends with you slaughtering him. So I'm just acknowledging what happens next.
I will ignore her and walk toward the dog. And when I get up to it, I'm going to say, so, if, hypothetically speaking, I was able to bring you some meat, like some actual meat, not crumbs, could I have your word that you'll leave us alone?
And it says, and he's looks, he sniffs at you. Roll a persuasion check.
Advantage. Right? Because of my charm.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'll take that.
What were the two numbers?
Persuasion. I think it's a total of 22, but let me double check. Nope, 20 total.
And he looks and he just, hi Tammy Mom, sorry about that. And he just goes, and he says, we won't make a promise to you, but it would be very kind if you would bring something to eat. And one of the head on the left just turns and says, anything, please.
I mean, not that I'm not kind, and not that I don't think you deserve to have something to eat. I just feel like, it's like a decent amount of effort on my part, and like I would really prefer for us to just kind of all exist amicably. I don't think we need to like cause problems for each other.
The one on the right turns and says, you want us to leave? We've amassed so much treasure. And the one in the middle says, it's true. And it is quite shiny.
What if we put some of it in a bag and you could take it with you?
Why do you want us to leave?
Well, I mean, you're uncomfortable in here, and we would like to use the forge, so I just feel like it would be in everyone's best interest if you left.
Give me 1 second.
Kind of poke Kiki in the ribs and say, listen, if this works, she's gonna need a hand to get that death dog, and Euphemian is off exploring. I don't know if anything's gonna happen to him. So did you want to stay and wait for Euphemian, or do you want me to stay and wait for Euphemian?
Well, I'd be assuming that Callista would probably require my assistance to bring a fucking dead corpse to feed the dogs.
Yeah.
The dog looks at you. The two look at you, and the one on the left says, we are hungry, and if you promise to bring us food, we promise. And the one in the middle just snips, and the one on the left like yeps, and backs up, and the one in the middle says, Lutheria asked us to protect the forge. She said that she didn't want anyone to get to it. If you want the forge, you're an enemy of Lutheria, aren't you?
I mean, I don't want to be Lutheria's enemy. I just want the war to not happen. I don't really care who's
What
who's on my
war?
side. The one between there was 500 years ago, there was a whole thing with the Dragon Lords and the Titans and... No? Okay, well, anyway, I don't really have strong feelings one way or the other about Lutheria as long as she leaves me alone, and doesn't mess with my friends anymore. But,
You are not leaving her alone.
Come into her dreams and mess with her. Anyway, regardless, what I'm saying is, I'm offering you food. What's Lutheria doing for you?
And the one on the right says, treasure and a home. The one on the left says, this is our place. This is for us now.
Maybe we could
But we
find
don't
a
want-
place. Oh, yeah.
We don't want to take your home from you or even your treasure. We just want to use the forge for a little bit to do what we have to do, and then we're gone. Absolutely, that is it.
So you don't want me to leave?
Well, we kind of need you out of our way so that we can go do what we need to do in the forge. But we don't want to chase you out of your home permanently. We just need to be able to use it. And we, like I said, we don't want your treasure at all. That's yours. You earned it.
How long would I be gone? By the way, whenever you say this, like its tail, when it's talking to Kiki, its tail lowers and it's got like this growl to its voice. Just anybody that's not Callista, it thinks that it's friends with Callista because of the charm, but anybody that's not Callista is someone that he has to remind himself every 5 seconds not to eat. So he's just like, he's just looking and he goes, "How long would we be gone?"
Ah,
And you hear the salamander say, and she calls out from the back, "They just needed me here for a little while. That was... How long do Cerberuses live? Your mother's 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 lifetime ago, maybe? That's how long I've been here?"
I mean, that wasn't us though.
And he turns and he lowers his head and looks at all of you like, um, enough understanding of the situation, but also like a vague understanding of like something complicated, but apparently you guys were also mean to his great great grandmother, and he's just sort of like looking down, like he's following. Let me clarify. He doesn't have like a sense of the nuanced amount of the war and the history and things like that. Like he's a good boy who knows that Lutheria got him a home and wants him to protect this place. He's a vicious hell beast of a dog, but he is not. He has neither the investment nor the capacity for appreciating the nuances of the war here. He knows that you guys are trying to evict him from a place that his goddess gave him.
Okay.
Had Prey during this time been trying to drag a death dog corpse thing from
Upstairs? Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be gone for a while.
Okay.
Until you tell me to come back.
I'll bring you back in a minute. If we're retroactively saying that, I can bring you back in a second. But go on.
Yeah,
Ah.
and I will have come back since I'm not actually. There's not a ton for me to do over there anyway.
Kyra.
Lutheria told you to protect it. We're not gonna hurt it. Right? If we don't hurt it and we let you hang out, you could just let us do our thing and then we'll be out of your hair. I just suggested you leave because you said it was hot and you didn't like it.
When you say that the one on the left just starts panting, and one in the middle says, "You will not damage the forge."
Nope.
Absolutely not. We just need to fix a few things. I'm saying it from way far from the safety. I smell like a fish snack.
Cray, you're gonna come back and you're dragging what, a death dog? Cray, you bring like this death dog. The other two death dogs, the smaller ones in the room, sort of turn and look up at you, like they're sort of like, "Wait, what?" Like their ears are perked and they stand up, and the salamander just looks at you and goes, "Oh, surprise." As you just come in with this, and you, oh hi honey, my wife just followed the page. So you come in with this this dog, and he just the second you're like open the elevator door, like the second the elevator door opens, he's talking to Callista and Kiki, and then he just like very like, but his tail's wagging. Kind of like that thing where like you guys better watch out, but also he doesn't want to admit he's in a good mood. The thing that dogs do sometimes. And he's just looking there. Cray, as you come closer with the food, with the death dog body, he looks at it and just looking at it, just completely like salivating.
I'll help Cray. I'll help push it towards, but I'm gonna stay at least 5 feet behind Callista. I'm gonna push it with her up until then, and I'm booting it back into the room.
Right,
No problem.
you push it back in.
Do you want me to cook it, or you're okay?
And just like immediately just jumps in and the three of them start to do like a tug of war thing, fighting over. Even it all goes to the same stomach, but they all want to be the one that ate it, and they're just like doing this tug of war. And what happens like it's just this complete like, tug of war sock thing with a dead body. It just ends horrifically after a moment as they. Can you guess which DM has had a lot of dogs at the same time? So anyway, you pull this in, and he look at it, and looks at Callista and says, "If you do not hurt the forge, do not harm the Theria, and you bring me food." Roll insight. Anybody that's here right now can roll. That's looking at him can roll insight.
Ah, shit. Where's my thing?
Insight's like a wisdom, so that wouldn't.
I have such
yeah.
good insight too, and I only rolled a 3.
Kiki got a 2, so nope.
Oh, sorry,
Same.
not 3, like a 5 or an 8 altogether.
What'd you get, Allie?
Yeah. I also rolled a 2, so that's 7.
All right, Reed. Are you over there, Reed? Do you want to roll?
Yeah.
You don't have to.
Yeah, all right. I usually forgo it just because I'm so terrible at it, but that's a 12.
You might be our saving grace.
Hey,
that's the
Well,
best
you got the
one.
highest.
At a 12, what was it? At a 12, you are aware that, like, this dog is thinking with its stomachs and not its heads. And I don't want to give in too much detail because you're just above a 10, but I do just want to emphasize the level of negotiation that you guys have right now is because of the charm magic. If you guys come back later, you will not have this level of negotiation. I don't want to give you any more hints or notes since you didn't go higher than a 12, but that's where it is right now.
We've got goodwill. That's got to count for something.
While you're watching him, you just hear the salamander go behind you. So that thing is gonna stop being your friend if it finds out that you're the Theria's enemy, huh?
I mean, technically, he just said that we couldn't hurt her, and I honestly don't think I can. So, I think we're good.
Oh yes, you're golden. You roll insight if you want, Allie.
Worked so well last time. Oh, I'll take that. 18.
18. Jen, you got a note from Tammy's mom that your microphone's a little low and it might be under your chin. Or they couldn't hear you if you were talking. I don't know if you were muted or something. Do you want to say something real fast?
Something real fast.
Perfect. Okay. Salamander's looking at you, Allie, at a 19, you said?
18, but
18. 18. She's trying to make a point right now. The point she's trying to make is, isn't it interesting that that your entire negotiations with this dog can fall apart if one person said one specific sentence? Isn't that interesting?
She's not wrong, but also she's presuming that it's going to trust her more than it trusts me.
That's also true. That's also true. I'm balancing a number of plates here. Salamander just wants to make the point that she can still be very much involved in this situation.
Hey, so you're free now, and you lit the forge. If you want to leave, you're welcome to. I mean, not that I'm complaining. I'd love to have you stick around and help. I'm always down for new friends, but you seemed like you were pretty eager.
For the first time in 500 years, she leans across the edge of the pool, puts her elbows at the edge of it. Friends?
I mean, I feel like that would be a little generous, given the history here, and also that you stabbed me when I was trying to play you a song. But, I mean, bygones.
What is our history here?
I mean, like, that I'm working with the people who, like, imprisoned you, and, you know, you
That's not
stabbed
our
me.
history.
I bring down another dog.
Perfect.
I love you so much.
Oh,
Do we have, like, have I met you before? I
Kyra
don't remember
you
you,
feel a
but-
hand on your shoulder, and Kyra looks at you, and she's just got this very serious look, and sort of nods her head like, step back for a second.
I mean, yeah.
Okay. And she looks at the salamander and looks at Euphemian and Kiki and Callista for a moment and just okay. And she just slowly drops to just both her knees. And she looks so that she's like looking up at the salamander. And she just says, "Salamander, fire spirit." And you just see like these tears, and she just goes, "I'm the daughter of Vulcan, and I'm one of the 5 that did this. I wasn't here when it happened. I heard about it. I've had 500 years to look into this. I am so sorry. And I'll spend the next 500 years being sorry." I don't have any other negotiations to make. And you don't have to accept that. I And when she starts to stand up, as she starts to stand, there's like this silence. The salamander's watching her, like looking at her. They're just keeping eye contact for this longest time. And and then Kyra starts to stand up, and the salamander just dives down low and looks her in the eyes level. They are your champions, then? And Kyra looks at the rest of you, like waiting for any of you to say something.
I mean, yeah? Something like that.
And the salamander turns and looks at Kyra and just says, "Do better. And be better than him." And she just smells and inhales for a second and just... It's never going to wash off. It just dives into the pool of magma. And after you hear some bubbling and some moving, and then it's just quiet for a little bit. And Kyra looks down, and then looks at the four of you. Looks at Craven, who's dragging in this dead dog. And and Kyra looks and says, "If I remember right, when they're fully immersed in magma, if there's nothing holding them in one spot, they can move from pool to pool. She doesn't have to be here anymore." It would have been nice if she accepted my apology. But that dog smells terrible. That dog smelled terrible. Kiki, when he gave you all the meat, did he give you anything to like season it with or anything? I don't know.
No, it was just a pack of meat, already seasoned and everything.
I'm like slowly pushing this other dead dog towards like.
Yeah, I don't think they care.
What'd you say?
I don't think they care.
And she goes, "Okay, I'm not." She gets next to Cray, and she starts shoving the dog with her, with Cray. This dog, and just like the dead dog muck getting on both of their hands, and what was I gonna say? And so the dog gets over, and the Cerberus eats it again, ripping it apart. It seems content for now, and Kyra just says, "So, do you guys have a plan for when the arrow stops working, and we have to deal with this?"
The entryway that we've passed through a couple of times, does it seem to be too small for him to pass through?
It is not too small for him to pass through. It's too small for him to pass through. Sorry, I got something comment out. My apologies. It's too small for him to pass through easily. Basically, D&D terms, it's the amount of squeezing you have to do is like beyond difficult terrain. Like if you like trying to get through like a tunnel that's too small for you and you're like inching. So he doesn't really do it on his own, and also in the previous session, it would be like tactically almost suicide for him to like try and charge you guys through the tunnel. So he can make it through there. It's just not something he'll ever really naturally do without a good reason.
Roughly how long has it been since I shot it?
I'd say about 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay, excellent. In that case, I kind of want to wander.
Okay. What's wandering in this context?
Like into the forge just to see what else is back here.
All right, you see the pile of treasure if you want to examine that, and then you
Nope.
see the dog, and then there's this giant hall behind you. I'll move you. If you see over here in this giant hall, looking down here, the hall goes all the way to the massive pit that you guys saw before, and goes further and further down. It goes further and further down, and let me save you guys some time. Any tricks you do with light sources or vision will just show that it goes down further than that. It wouldn't take much for you guys to guess that that's where the Cerberus came from, possibly where he could go. But even though he prefers it here.
Okay.
And just to clarify something, this is an area where like a lot of the metal was dug out of the walls, and a lot of the mining was done, which is why the forge was here. But damn near all of it is completely gone. To the like when I say damn near all of it, I mean like 99% of it's gone. And then the all of it fell into disrepair. So it's basically just like a bunch of like wooden planks and sort of stuff for mining that's in the stream. Here's the deal. We don't know what's going on with our streaming service right now. Reed, who plays the most educated character in all of our campaigns, has decided to take his scientific brilliance to resolving this. We think he's got it sorted out. We think that he's streaming from he's streaming from his computer instead of mine, and we think that he's got it fixed. If we get disconnected again, we love you guys, and there's a chance that we might film and upload the episode later, because the issue is with the streaming, not with the rest of it. So we could just record the footage and put it up later. It'd be a little atypical, but we want the year to go. We can't end 2021 without breaking prayer in at least one more time, right? Is it really the end if we don't do that?
Eight, right?
Yeah, so we gotta get that going.
It's been 8 already? Oh my goodness. I mean, you could say, like, I don't know, I tripped and broke my neck bringing down, like, a bunch of dog corpses.
Yeah, that's possible. That's possible.
Crit just falls into the giant hole.
In and out, in and out.
It's how he would have wanted to go. So let's let us jump back into it. Now, we were sort of interrupted. You guys were feeding the dog, the Cerberus, whenever Kyra pointed out that this magic's gonna end soon. I can see you guys. I can hear you guys, all right? Oh, I can listen to sound. Oh my gosh, I can actually like watch the stream now. Like I can click on things and see stats. This is new. This is incredible. Let me see. 1 second. You're not getting picked up. You're not. Okay, you have to add a separate sound source for your microphone. Okay, so Let's see, that was one person down, so take all of the banter we've been doing and just know that you've only been getting 80% of it. It's even bantier than that. So we're trying to figure this out. And, while I'm vamping for time, I'm just going to say
All right.
that if we're going to have a stream that summarizes 2021 and sends 2021 out appropriately. Okay. Reed, if you want to say something, I'm going to see if it gets picked up on the stream.
I am saying something, and hopefully it's being picked up by the stream.
All right, give me a second. I hear it. Man, my audio quality is not lovely. I need to work on that. Okay, so we are golden. I think we're set now. It can't possibly go wrong ever again.
I don't know what you just said, but I hope it wasn't important for me to hear, because...
What happened?
I lost audio. I think my wife's headphones connected to my iPad. You guys just went silent.
Can you hear me right now?
I can. I turned off Bluetooth, so I should be okay.
What is that law again?
If I'm doing the count, we've all brought unique things to this group. I think this session, everybody's had. Most people have had some sort of. I think Jen has been fine. Reed, I think it's 3/5 of the people have had some sort of delay. So we are just nailing this.
Man,
Calling
I tell
off.
ya,
Are we ready to jump back in?
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right. We are all of us in this together. Let's push out. Let's get rid of 2021 the way it should be pushed away, with great technical difficulty. The 5 of you, counting Kyra, are standing there watching the 3 dogs just ravage these other death dogs. These bodies coming in, and Kyra, just like her hands are just, just sort of like she sort of I'm gonna say she starts to get like this sort of like silver white powder magic that come up and like do prestidigitation on her hands, and then she just like looks at it and just shakes the dust away, and just keep it there for a second, and she just like looks at the hands and just rubs them on her, like rubs them off on her toga, and she looks at you guys and goes, I don't know that he's they. Hell, are you? Not important right now. What are we gonna do whenever your magic runs out, Callie?
Well, I'm kind of hoping that maybe if we just like really bribe him, or them, I don't know. But maybe if we just like really, really lean hard into bribery, maybe we won't have to fight. But either way, I'm pretty tapped right now, and also pretty hurt. So I would prefer to like maybe not fight anything right now.
I agree. I would prefer not to fight, but it seems to me that if we do have to, we're in the best possible situation if we can just fire straight down this hallway.
Yeah, I mean, full transparency, he could hypothetically just leave through the back into that giant hole, but I guess maybe if he does that, then that's good too, right? That'll work, because then he'll be gone. I just don't know what else can come up.
Always an option, I suppose.
How many dogs have I brought down by this point?
I'm gonna say 3.
Okay.
I can go for 4. I haven't thought about it too much. I'm gonna say 3. Yeah, 1 for your head at this point.
So this is my 5th dog I brought down.
Yeah, you can probably stop for now.
Okay, good.
Do you want a hand?
No, I have...
Fight, and then the 2 in the corner. And Kyra's like trying to remember how many dogs there were.
Yeah.
1 for the shin.
I just kind of slump beside the dogs. Oh boy. Okay.
Kyra sort of sits next to you and goes, "Are you okay?"
Yeah, but I just need a minute to rest. I think Euphemian is doing something to that ball. I don't know. He's touching it all over the place. I don't know.
Let him play with his ball. Listen, and she goes, thanks for coming up with this.
Jen can't keep it together. I'm sorry.
My reaction just.
Yeah.
I have.
And Kyra just, Kyra's gonna just, run, like, sort of almost gently, like, flourish this magic over to you to, like, sort of clean you off from the dead dog that you've been, like, carrying, a slaughtered dog that you've been, like, moving everywhere, and she just goes, yes, thanks.
Wow, thanks. This is like the best I smelled in, like, forever. Thanks.
Your smell's kind of like, I thought of it as like a character trait, so I thought it would be kind of invasive to do anything about it, but that's a lot of dead dogs,
no,
so.
be invasive when it comes to that as much
sure?
as you like. Oh yeah, when it comes to, I just prefer, yeah.
I like the
When I was by myself, it wasn't so bad, but now I'm with company and I'm sweating. So.
It was bad.
Okay.
It was
yeah,
bad.
thanks, yep.
Okay.
Okay, what are we gonna do with these dogs again? Euphemian, you got something with that ball?
I believe I can redirect it, but it would probably take me an hour, perhaps a little more.
I'm gonna say it depends on the complexity of what you want it to do. Like if it's like one sentence, if it's like qualifiers and conjunctions. Like I think I'll scale it to what you want it to do.
Okay. I mean,
because
my direction would basically be fire as soon as the Cerberus is there within range.
Okay. Yeah, that would take you an hour.
Okay.
How much time do we have then, DM, in that sense?
In what sense? For
less than an hour.
Okay.
Oh yeah. The Cerberus is gonna, the Tromp spell is gonna work off in half an hour. In half an hour, this thing's gonna resort back to its base instincts without the fact that it's been holding back for its friend Callista's sake.
Okay.
I mean, if we keep feeding it, maybe we can be real friends.
You know what? I will say that at this point, actually, Tammy makes a good point. I will say at this point, when it starts eating, when it's like on like the last dog, it would be like the front half of the dog and just sort of leave, and just like the back half of this dog that's not devoured just and just sort of back up. It's eaten most of its fill right now, having eaten 4.5 death dogs. That's
it's gonna go take a nap in its bed now.
That's
down the hall.
It's warm. It's full. Nap time.
It's gotta go get some water.
We can give it some scratchies, Callista, and maybe make it go to sleep.
I think after it finishes eating, it's gonna be too hot. It wanders away from the forge, wanders down the hall, and sort of curls up in the corner at the edge of the hall. Move you guys over here so you can see it real fast. It moves up over here just to the edge of the corner of the wall, and just sort of circles down and goes to sleep over there. It doesn't even acknowledge you guys at this point. It just sort of walks over and circles over. It does that circle loop thing dogs do, lays down, and then one of the heads like yawns, and just it doesn't even acknowledge you. Just goes to sleep. Unbeknownst to itself, that by the time it wakes up, the charm magic will be gone.
2 questions then.
Mm-hmm.
1, we already determined that it doesn't count as a beast for animal friendship, correct?
Yes.
And 2, is it actually sleeping? Like, are all 3 heads asleep?
As far as you can tell, but if you want to investigate, you can.
I do want to investigate.
You'll have to get close enough, because you're technically not within sight right now.
Yep, I would love to get over there and just take a look, see if they, whatever, are actually sleeping.
As you're over there, you just feel like this incredibly intense heat. It's not enough to harm you. It's just like, oh yeah, this is fucking awful. But so you roll an investigation check. Give me the answer.
Okay. Ooh. That's an 18 on the die. I think it's an 18 total, because that's intelligence, right?
Yeah. So 18. Yeah, this dog is just asleep right now. It seems to be not doing much of anything, but like the different heads, like one of them's just snoring loudly, and one of them's just lolling to the side, and one of them's just sort of clearly just in that final moments when you're drifting off to sleep, but trying to get comfortable a little bit still. So they're all just trying to fall asleep in different. They're all just trying to fall asleep. But yeah,
Take a minute to look at the treasure hoard.
okay. So you're just gonna now when you say look at it, what do you mean literally look at it, or are you gonna go through it?
I don't want to move anything and risk waking him up. I just want to see if I can like identify anything that's like sitting on the top.
Okay.
Other than my arrow, obviously.
Give me 1 second. So you look through. Let me pull up my notes. You look through. You see kind of. You see a handle of something sticking out of the back of it. Let me see. Let me check your stats. Yeah, it seems like some sort of shiny metal handle to something sticking out of the gold pile. But it's a pile of gold and silver and platinum just all pooled together. You see 3 javelins on sort of buried in different parts of it. They're clearly javelins, like points sticking out of it and things like that. And yeah, they're all just everything's just piled and dumped on. So like it's obvious other things might be buried under there.
How close to the top is my arrow that I gave it?
It would be right on top.
Could I pocket that? Take it back?
Sure. Roll sleight of hand with advantage.
Okay.
Because it is asleep, but it has a passive perception of there are 3 people you have to sneak against at once.
Maybe before I do, then I'll wander back over and just ask everyone, like, so what
Actually,
do you think are the odds that we're gonna have to actually do something to it?
Wait a second. Roll your sleight of hand, not with advantage.
Okay. Before I do that, if it seems like it might cause a problem, I'm just gonna ask my friends if what do I think are the odds that we're gonna have to actually like do something to this? Like, do you guys think that I there's a shot? Because if not, I'll just take my arrow back now while he's sleeping.
Kyra goes, what do you mean do something to this?
Like hurt him, like fight him. I'd prefer not to, but you know, I don't want it to get damaged if we're gonna just collect it later.
I mean, why don't we have Kyra maybe summon Vulcan here and see what he needs, how long he needs, and maybe he can do something about that dog?
Have you been at a forge? It's not something that you're likely to sleep through.
Maybe he can do something about the dog?
Kyra goes, I can go run and get him real fast. It would be a little while before he got here. He's not.
Like how long?
Couple hours.
Yeah, more than 30 minutes.
Oh.
I mean, it's not going to take long to get the message to him, but getting back. And you just hear the entire frustration it seems to be that he runs at a normal mortal pace, and it's deeply frustrating to her.
I don't believe that it's very likely that we're going to get out of this without some amount of violence.
I almost want to not do anything to it just to spite the salamander. Is that bad?
I think you're completely justified, to be honest. I don't like her attitude.
I mean, is peace to spite someone? Does it not count as peace then? Does it take away from it? Or is it okay that I just want it to end without anyone having to hurt each other? Morally speaking.
I think that's reasonable to not want to hurt anymore.
I don't want to hurt it either, quite honestly. I don't want to hurt anyone, but at the same time, he is bound to Lutheria's service. As soon as the magical enchantment wears off, I'm afraid there's very little that he has as far as an option.
Can you shoot him again?
No, I can only do it once a day.
Kara says, well, he seemed to be intrigued whenever you said that you wouldn't be hurting Lutheria.
I mean, don't want to hurt Lutheria. I'd like to keep my word. I feel like, I don't know, it would be nice if we could, like, reason with her or something. Plus, I mean, look at me, I can't hurt a Titan.
Well, not yet.
And that could just be because of the effect of her spell right now, that he's saying that they're saying that.
Okay, well, either way, I'm gonna leave it. I'm not gonna touch anything, and maybe you guys can help me find it later if things come to that.
Certainly, I will help you however we can.
Okay. Okay. Well, then in that case, is there somewhere? I mean, I honestly would kind of like to sleep, but I mean, obviously, maybe if we go where the dock.
Kyra says, well, the dwarf resting quarters were upstairs. They're kind of wrecked, but...
Can he go up there, though?
I mean,
That was right by the hole, wasn't it?
And she's like, well, yeah, but... Well, that's true.
I'm also
At least this
concerned
way.
that we do have a time frame.
Yep.
We're not looking at immediately, but certainly we've got a certain amount of time, and we are going to have to deal with that storm.
We need Vulcan to help with the harp too, right?
Yes.
Well, we could try getting Vulcan just to come down in the meantime while we figure what the hell to do with this dog.
Yeah. Kyra, can we take you up on that?
Yeah, yeah, I can do that. You want me to go tell Dad to have him come back here?
Yes. Do you think the salamander's gonna reappear and, like, attack him?
It seems likely that she's had entirely enough of this place.
Yeah.
Okay. Just spitballing a little bit.
What would you do if she came back?
Attack your dad?
You would
Attack
attack...
us?
You would attack Vulcan if the salamander came back?
No, I'm worried she might.
What would you do if she came back?
What would I do if she came back?
What would you do if she came back?
I feel like we've already promised Vulcan assistance and safety before he could come here.
I mean,
She looks at you, Jimmy, and says, does that mean that you'd attack the salamander?
We would do absolutely everything within our power to try to defuse the situation before it got to that point.
I mean, if Vulcan doesn't get here till tomorrow, I could charm her.
And she sort of looks at Callista and says, I think she's had enough of being told what to do.
I mean, yeah, but isn't that better than being dead?
I think I can
Why are those the
speak
only
for everyone.
options?
Agree with you, Femian. Like, obviously, if we could talk it through, that would be ideal. No one's listening to me lately, so I don't know.
Who's not listening to you?
I tried to talk to her and be reasonable and peaceful, and Kiki said all those wonderful things, and she just wasn't having any of it, and the Troglodyte King, and what's his name, and Euphemian's home, the king. That's out of character, because Callista would remember his name, because he's important. That's the one. I just feel like we keep trying to do right, and nobody's listening. Nobody's meeting us halfway.
Callie. And she sort of takes your hand, and she looks at you and she says, people are going to be mad at us. I was wrong. This place is a shrine to how wrong we were. They get to be mad at us. Please, and when she takes your other hand, and you can see like the sort of golden power that sort of washes between you and her, like when she gave it to you the first time, and she goes, "You promised to help me be better than what I was before." I don't know what the right answer is, but
It's
I
just
don't.
how many times has Cray gone unconscious and almost died? And he just keeps trying to do the right thing. It's just me. It's my bad luck. Okay, Hal, I've been living
bad
this
things
my whole
happen
life.
to everyone. You know what I mean? Like, we've all been through it. We're trying to do the right thing here.
I could. And she looks around. She says, the right thing and the safe thing aren't always going to be the same thing. I don't. She says, I don't know what I'm saying. It didn't feel right. It didn't feel right. But, I didn't have these answers during the war, and I definitely don't have them now. But,
Just sleep.
what'd you say?
I think I just need to sleep.
Because, I told you guys that I get hold of Vulcan. And she looks at you all and says, just be careful. And don't let anything happen to Cray without writing down every detail, okay? And she sort of looks at Cray and sort of like says like the smirky smile thing. And she just goes, I'll see you guys later. And you hear this door open. Right. And then you hear the door close. As her like entire she just wanted to like zip all the way to Astoria, and then like remember like she has to wait for an elevator. She has to go up the elevator, the fucking Mass Effect thing all over again. And she just like and then just whips all the way back. It is the four of you guys in here.
Well, I mean, I'm not great, but I'm okay. I can watch, and I can hold him off a little bit. I think a total of maybe 24 seconds. Nope, make that 16 seconds. That's all I can hold him off for. But I mean, you know.
Do you think that perhaps we could go through and find a weapon of some sort that you can use at range, a bow or something?
You see this body? This is the weapon.
Okay, but unless
God, why did
Kiki
Kyra
decides
have to miss that?
unless Kiki decides to throw you at the beast.
Listen, I can run in and run out. I can only do it 4 times. That's all I'm saying.
I still have one of those hunting traps.
And given time, I can set up a trap on from the sphere.
Oh, I thought that was what you were doing, with your ball touching. Okay, well, you know what? Why don't we... Kiki, he's asleep. Let's be really quiet. We can set this up. I can run in and out a few times if I need to, but I can't do it for long. But that's what I can do.
Do we want to do that and set up the trap in front of...
Well, we're doing
where
that
he
right
is?
now, right?
Maybe we could set the hunting trap on this side of the hallway so that way it doesn't accidentally, just in case maybe he's like a little bit reasonable. We don't immediately escalate to violence.
It's a complicated topic for him because he's pretty much of 3 minds on the matter.
Well,
Wow.
I don't have an NPC I can bring in here, so I just got puns. Please continue.
It's a fairly long hallway. We could set it up anywhere along the middle of that. Certainly, if he's trying to force his way through, I think there's only ill intent.
Yeah. I agree with Euphemian. You can just put it at the one edge, and I try to point over as I ping on the map. Just one part there, like just down over to that side, maybe a little bit.
Well, it would have to be a little bit more in, like probably right in the middle-ish.
Oh, so you want to go like?
You get like probably more like where Callista is at the moment.
Oh yeah, I can.
Because if he's able to get through,
well.
if he can't get through, I don't want it to go off and really set him off, kind of thing. If he gets just a paw. But if all of him kind of comes through and like he breaks through the doorway a little bit more, a little too close, as long as we know that it's there.
Oh, sorry.
As long as we know that it's there, we can hop over it. If we have to run back, kind of thing, and go over it.
All right, let's just set it up here then.
Insurance.
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to start working on the new contract, so to speak.
Okay. Perfect.
Death Dog's doing right now? Are they just sleeping?
They're sleeping right now. Basically, I want you to make an insight check, Reed.
Insight. Okay. 16.
Okay. I will say that basically the dogs, when you look at them, you quickly put together, I would say your character quickly puts together what I'm implying by this, but they seem to care a lot less about what you guys are doing now that the contract is destroyed and the trap is deactivated. They were mostly, basically there for one way or another to make sure that the trap didn't get damaged so that the contract was intact. With the contract and everything destroyed, they're kind of just, they're not nice, but they're not, like, ravenously trying to kill anybody that they see, is kind of where it is. What was it?
Oh, so then it's possible if we put the trap, they could get caught in it. I don't want to do that. Can we play fetch and have them go and attack the big dog?
I think in the hallway is probably safe, because that way, like, if they're getting involved, right?
Yeah. I agree.
All right.
Okay.
Kiki, let's put it down right. I don't know, right here. You're saying, right in the middle of the hallway.
So what's the exact? You're putting the trigger here.
The hunting trap.
Okay.
There we go.
Oh,
Good
hunting
job.
trap. Okay.
Yeah, because I still had one.
Excellent. Okay, so you're setting that up. Yeah. Sorry, it's weird. I try and nudge the pace of a scene to where the rate I think it should be going, using various things. But I realize I don't have an NPC here, so I have like nothing. So it's really what you guys want to do. My hands are dead. Outside of the dogs that I just clarified won't be doing much right now.
I'm gonna try to take a short rest while Euphemian's doing that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Euphemian,
I think we probably should, because it's going to be a while anyways, and for Vulcan, and we've got that trap in the hallway.
Did we short rest already, though? I thought we did.
We did, but I got stabbed.
Right.
What'd you say?
A bit.
All right. So we're doing the short rest. Euphemian, you can do that during the short rest. Jane, is there anything you wanted to do in the short rest?
Just keep an eye on the dog, I'd imagine. Once Cerberus starts getting all slavery and drooly and I'm gonna eat you, then, I'll ask my party mates to look alive.
That's fair.
I'll play Song of Rest, and hopefully the music will help keep him sleeping.
Okay. Let me see. I think at that point we're gonna go. While you guys are doing this, while you're running, this seems like a good point for a break for a minute, just because it's 8 o'clock. If that's okay with you guys, is that okay?
Oh, you're fucking kidding me.
What's wrong?
I rolled 2 hit dice and I got 5.
Ooh.
Jeez.
Well,
are we?
That's just 1 hit die.
I
But
was
you also
holding.
get-
Yeah, you get the D6, but I was holding off in case it gets interrupted.
You guys can do your short rest stuff, and
Oh, okay.
we'll come back. We'll do a break like at about 8:17 right now, or 15 minutes after from now. Don't turn off your cameras. You can cover them or something, but don't turn off your cameras because that will make Reed sad. Is he back? Yes.
We are back.
Reed, are we back? All right, cool. So we are back on the stream. It has. Oh, I can hear us. I can hear us. It's been the short rest. It'll be a little bit. I would say after the short rest ends, the dog's sleeping. The dog's going to be asleep for a while, and Kyra's not going to be back for a little bit. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to do in the meantime? If not, I can just fast forward it to whenever the next thing happens on my side. But you guys have a window if there's anything else you want to do between that.
Simeon, what did you see down there? Is there anything we could help to maybe with whatever this is? As I gesture to the dog.
I don't think so. I was only down there very briefly, but it's a dock. That's another way in, but unless you have a way to, push the Cerberus through a wall, I don't expect it's going to be much help in this case.
Does it have to be in one whole piece? Hey. Okay.
Wait, what are you suggesting?
Dismembering it. Dismembering the dog so that it fits in the hallway.
Oh, okay.
Well, while we're hanging out, I just wanted to ask Kiki. You doing okay? That was a lot.
Yeah, it certainly was a lot. I feel horrible for trying to trick her into lighting the forge, but at the same time, we had no way of knowing if she actually would help. I really do hope she can forgive me someday. But I hope, I'll have to ask Kyra when she gets back, but I do hope that when you and she write the story that we leave her a good place, a good word. And I want to find her the most beautiful name possible.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it, but if you think of anything, let me know, because I don't usually come up with names. I usually come up with phrases,
Yeah.
Never named anything in my life.
Like, I have no idea what would be the greatest or the most beautiful name possible. Right now, the only one that ever came to mind is Celestia, but I find that that's not even good enough.
If I might, I do have a suggestion to that. What about Alexandria?
Ooh. Is that someone you know?
I know what you're doing there.
Then let's give her that one.
Read.
How do you spell that?
I will spell it out for you.
Perfect.
So, I guess you guys are getting fast forwarding to sometime later when the elevator door opens.
Sure.
So the elevator door opens. I don't. I'm gonna say the elevator door opens and you hear this voice. Come on, and this other voice. Yeah, it's a bit of a trek all the way through here, but all right. And you see, Kyra, I'm gonna say this is like 5 hours later, maybe. I'm fudging the time a little bit, so let me know if that rubs up against you in any way.
When they come down, I just want to peek around the corner and just be like, "Shh, the dog is still sleeping."
So when you say the dog is still sleeping, let me see. When you see the dog is still sleeping, I'm gonna say, Vulcan turns and looks at Kyra and he goes, "Is it your pet now, or what's going on?" And she goes, "Dad, I told you, like, we're trying to figure it out." And he goes, "Well, I mean, you're artsy, but like that one," and he points at Callista. He goes, "She's got weapons, don't she?" And Kyra goes, "We're not doing that, Dad." He just goes, walks past Callista, sort of kneels down, looks at you, and goes, "What? Did you forget how this worked? Are you not a swords person?"
That's not my primary skill set, but
What's your what is it? Axe, hammer?
I'm gonna summon the quill that your Fabian made me.
Oh, god damn it.
You know what they say about swords and pens and all that.
And he just looks at Kyra, and Kyra just sort of like blushes a little bit, and he goes, "Oh, for fuck." And he just like he's very like, everyone has their favorite god, and he just like, whenever he sees someone whose favorite god is Kyra, he's like, hippies. It's kind of wonderful. He assumes that you guys can.
He's the army vet at the Thanksgiving dinner who's like,
yeah, he's met you before. He knows all of you guys, but like, when you're close to danger, he's like, in the back of his mind, he always assumed that like, your hero prophecy, you'd have some sort of like double-edged sword or javelin or something at the time came. He didn't assume that you'd actually pull out a quill whenever there's a Cerberus nearby. And he's like, God damn it.
To be fair, I did shoot it with a bow.
Yeah. He doesn't have all these. He comes over and he looks over and goes, "Oh man, this place is." He looks over at the pool and just goes, "You really get rid of the sprite thing, huh?" Kyra looks and goes, "The salamander's free." He's I guess we can't let this go out then.
Do you like slavery? Is that kind of how that works, Vulcan? Because that's kind of what you just did.
It's kind of what we did too.
But I did this 500 years ago. It's not.
So you had no time to change your mind.
Interesting. Oh, be careful. There's a trap. You don't want to get caught in it, do you?
He looks at Callista. "No, I don't." Listen, Kara, was it?
Me?
Yeah.
Did you just ask if my name was your daughter's name?
Kara, I said, is your name not Kara?
Callista.
Sure, I've had a lot of people having to rely on the choices that I made 500 years ago, and I don't remember everything that I did, because it was a lot. But what sounds like me, and he looks at Craven too, and he goes, what sounds like me, if I'm thinking back over the 500 years I spent trying to protect people, I might have put in a failsafe to keep you guys safe. But if you have another way to light the forge, you can do that. I can put this out right now.
Convenient.
Okay, can we just get to doing what we need to do, please?
Yeah, we can do that.
There's the dog in there that's probably wanting to kill us.
I can kill the dog if you want, but... And Kyra goes, Dad, and she goes, I promised along the way I wouldn't kill the dog. And he sort of pushes past, he does that thing, like, was it Dr. Cox on Scrubs, where he just sort of, like makes a
Walks
point
through
to
you.
elbow someone out of the way. Yeah, like, oh, and he like pushes past Krayerin. He looks at Kiki, but then pushes past Krayerin and like shoves him out of the way, and then just walks down to the forge, looks at the trap, and he goes, "Do you think I can get trapped on? Okay, whatever," and walks past that. He looks over, and Kyra just looks at us and goes, "Come on," and just like leads you guys into the other room if you want to come in there. If you want to come in, feel free to move your tokens in there.
I would definitely,
Yeah.
because I am carrying the stuff. So I
He
just don't know where my map is. Oh, thank you.
Or as everybody goes in there, I just kind of lean down by the pool, and I know she can't hear me, and no one can hear me because everybody's gone. But I just want to say, I am so sorry. And then I walk in.
Okay. I think yeah. As you walk in, and he looks at all you guys. He goes, "Oh, this place is. This is beautiful. This. Oh man, this took me years to make, and he has like this hammer, like this like huge hammer for forging on his side, and he just like pulls it out, just spins it, like twirls in his hand, and looks at it and goes, "This place, look at this, I made this, I don't know how long ago," and just and he swings the hammer up across the side of it, and just this anvil, and just the metal just rings out, echoing through everything. And he goes, "Look at that. Still sturdy as ever." And the Cerberus turns and looks up and sort of looks at him and just sniffs and growls. And Vulcan just walks over, Kyra goes, "Oh, damn it." And Vulcan goes, "No, I got this. You said no killing, right?"
Don't maim the thing either.
She goes, "Yeah, Dad, don't hurt it." He goes, "I got this."
I'm gonna follow.
Alright, did anybody else want to do anything?
I smell like a snack. I'm staying away from the dog.
I feel like there's a spell I should ready, but I don't got one.
Alright.
Don't worry, I'm gonna be behind. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go behind him, but I'm gonna be right there because if he tries to, I'm gonna try to stop him.
Alright.
Yeah, I'll move
He
up
looks
a
at
little
Cra-
bit.
Alright. He looks at Craven like he wants to say something.
And my arms are crossed the whole time, like with a very disapproving look on my face. Like,
What was that supposed to be? Okay.
nothing. You do your thing.
Okay. And he crouches down, like on his knees, like that pitcher thing in baseball, and looks at one of the dogs. One of the dogs is looking at him, sort of like very quiet growl, like not sure if they want to commit to the growl thing that dogs do. And he looks at him and goes, "Okay." And I think only Craven says it because he says it real quiet. But I'll say it so the rest of you guys can hear it. But he goes, "Okay. Yeah, the writer over there, the bard, the pretty little lady over there, that's my daughter. And she made me promise that I'm not going to hurt you." And the dog just sort of growls a little bit deeper, and he goes, "But I built this whole thing." And he takes his hammer, and he puts it like on the head of it on the floor, and he goes, "I built this whole thing, and it's lasted 500 years, and I'm going to use it right now. And I got this hammer that did it, that's pounded all of this adamantium, adamantium, I think is what it is, into place, and made weapons that can kill gods. And that hammer," and he holds and twirls it, and he goes, "I didn't put a dent on it that whole time. So I promised my little girl that I wouldn't hurt you. But if you do anything to any of us, it wasn't an oath." And the dog just sort of looks at him, the snarl gets a little quieter, and he goes, "Alright." And he stands up, and he walks over to you guys, and he goes, and he looks at Craven, and he goes, "That okay with you?"
Thank you. I kind of soften a little bit.
and he walks over to the rest of you guys and goes, I don't know how much time I bought us with that. Dogs are dogs. But if you want me to try something, I can try something. And he looks around, he goes, now, Versi wanted you, he sort of like loosens up a little bit, he goes, Versi wanted you guys to forge this. She didn't tell you why, did she?
Aside from reforging the weapons.
Alright, what weapons do you have?
I'll take them
These.
out. So there is the axe, the shield, and I'm going to take off my breastplate.
Okay. I'm gonna say this just so it's on the record right now. The whole way Volkers interact with that dog, total homage to the way that my dad would basically handle people whenever they were bullies. Love you, Dad. I'll show you this clip later. But anyway, so he looks at that. He looks at Krayer and whenever you say these and you hold up your fists, he looks and he goes, You're the one that dies a lot?
Hey, you don't go down without a fight.
I don't go down.
You haven't been out in 500 years.
I
either.
do.
High five.
He looks at them. He looks at the plate and the axe, I believe, and the shield.
Yep.
And he looks at them. He goes, "Oh yeah.
Wasn't there a harp too that we were supposed to fix or something? Or was that
Make
for the
a
weather?
brand new harp.
Make a heart.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'll pull out the nymph hair.
And because remember, he's not apprised of any of that. Anything related to what you guys are talking about the harp, he doesn't know. He only knows about the weapons. But he looks.
Spoken to him in the temple about making the harp.
Was that through
Oh,
the
that's right.
portal?
That's right. You did. That's right. You did. Okay. Then I'm gonna rewind that for a second and be like, no. You're right. I'm gonna fix that. He's gonna be like, looks at the weapons and the breastplate, and he goes, wasn't there something about music or something that was a thing?
Yeah, so we have this, and we need to make a harp.
Okay, yeah, that's right, the harp. Listen. These things take time. They take work, and they take days to forge something, or to repair something. Because you gotta hit it hard, and you have to hit it with a divine spark, which only someone with God, with the blood of a god, can really do what needs to be done with these things. So if I want to work on this, which one do you want me to work on first? Because it's gonna be a while. Or, it's been a while since I've made anything here. Honestly, it might feel good to make something else too. And over time, I'm going to tell you, he explains to you that, and I'm pulling it up here, that he actually would be able to make a couple different things, but they're mostly limited by what resources he has. So I'm going to put it in the Roll for Bold chat so that other people can see too, and also I'm going to put it in our private Discord, because I'm sharing, I said I'd share pictures with everybody. But he has other recipes that if you guys want them, he'll tell you how he can make them happen. Some of them he can make right now, some of them he can make later. And I'm putting that in the chat. And what I did not put in the chat is how much time any of them would make or what the special ingredients are, because you'd have to ask him. But
I think
these
the
are
most
the things.
important, right, though, like out of game is basically what we need to get to save Mitros, right? Or Mitros.
Mm-hmm.
If I recall correctly, what I've given you, you guys were not told what the forge is meant to be used for, but you were very clearly put on a path where you ended up with those other 3 items, as well as your own hammer. So it would be a reasonable conclusion that Versi intended for you guys to repair those weapons, but to be completely fair, I have not explicitly had any confirmation of that in universe. If that's the correct, I think that brings us up to sync.
Saying like we need to fix the boreal harp. But we need a lot of gold to access the forge.
Yeah, each of the because all of the items require an amount of gold, a large amount of gold, and then they take days. I think each of the 3 items that you have would take about 4 days to repair. And every one of them is extraordinary in some way. I will just say, let me see. Let me see what I got here real fast, because he's going to look at them. He turns over the items. He goes, the shield thing, I made this a while ago. You see this? And he holds up, and the shield's kind of like, it's got like this tiger with like an open mouth on it, but like the teeth are kind of broken and stuff. It's in great disrepair. And he goes, he looks at Kiki, and he's sort of starting to pick up because he's now bragging about war and his weapons. And he looks, he goes, you see this right here? He goes, the mouth thing, it's big. And what you do is you take the head of an enemy or just an animal, whatever you have. And you take the head and you put it in there, and you clamp the teeth down on it, okay? This thing's working right. You can just take the gift of that thing and channel it through you for like a minute. And so you can just literally use their power against them. And, bonus, they get to see their friends at, and that's not fun for them either. So, this one's pretty good. It's a bit of a clever one, and it's a lot of weird ether that you have to channel through, and it takes a while. It's kind of why you need to have, well, you know. And he sort of punches your arm a little bit.
Yeah.
And he looks at the axe, and he goes, this is an angry thing. But this thing, this is for doing what needs to be done if you get in with Delithria or Sidon. Just, don't use it when you're sparring with any of us or my daughter or anything like that, okay?
Absolutely.
I'll tell you right now, as he would explain to you later, I can't put it in game terms, so I'm just going to tell you, or he can't explain it in game terms. Yeah, this weapon, I won't give you the full details, but significantly boosted damage when you're fighting something significantly greater than yourself.
Okay.
Like a god or a giant or just either size or status in that sense.
Okay.
It's for breaking something like that down. Yeah, and he looks at the breastplate and he just goes, this is honestly one of them had it. I can't remember his name, but he got a spear in the chest and he kept going. So I don't think it's that bad. Anyway, any of these you want, or the harp, I can make those happen for you. You just let me know.
Well, we definitely want all of them, so...
For the time being, it seems the priority would be the harp.
Okay, let's do the harp.
We don't have any way to stab or shield against a thunderstorm.
Oh, right, that was to do that.
You guys give me 6 days, I can give you something that can stab a thunder. I bet I can come up with a spear. Hold on. Yeah,
Could you do
spear.
the harp
Just...
faster?
What?
Could you do the harp faster, though?
Yeah. But, I mean, he wanted to stab the weather. I could do that.
Or would probably be best. Thanks.
Well, what are we going to be doing in the meantime? Because obviously it's going to take him several days to do all of them.
Oh yeah, what are you three going to be doing in the meantime?
He said blood of a god. You have blood of a god. Could he teach you with your hammer how to make stuff? You could help, maybe.
Yeah.
Because aren't you staying with me?
Not to volunteer you.
No. I have the Pythor's hammer, so I assumed I'd be staying, but just, okay, what's the rest of you guys gonna do?
You can catch up on my writing, I don't know. But
and let me see, yeah, he would just let me think. Yeah, he would look at that and he would say, "Yeah, if I have someone helping me, then I can go a little bit faster." And I mean, you're the one with the and he does like this motion, like like trying to say the one with the muscles. He's like this, and also like you're one of the ones Pythor made, right?
You mean one of his daughters?
Aren't you?
Don't play your games with us. Yes. Maybe.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. If I learned that I was one of Pythor's kids, which would be weird, I'd just be wanting to learn how to do this stuff. So I just assumed you'd want to. I just assumed
absolutely.
Yeah. Right.
Do
yeah,
it.
he just completely he just completely in his mind skipped over the entire part of explaining to you that he was going to teach you how to do all of this, and has just been talking to the rest of them about what they'll do while you two are working together. So yeah, he's yeah, the math is there's like a little math formula for calculating how long it takes to forge things. But the short version that I'm doing right now is, for this one, if Kiki is there learning, it will take 2 days instead of 4 days. And then in the future, you would still might need his assistance on answering some questions and stuff, but Kiki could be the one to forge the items on the menu that I gave you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
So if we have a
pretty
couple of
useful.
days, I don't know, is anybody wanting to do anything crazy?
I don't know that we should go anywhere without Kiki.
Crazy defined as what exactly?
Well, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I kind of want to see if I can make friends with this one death dog here.
Vulcan, wait, are you talking about the Cerberus or one of the small ones?
No, the little ones, the one that is just by the ball.
Are we getting
And Kyra goes, "Oh," and Vulcan goes, "Why?"
Because puppies are cute or something.
Because it's a life lesson Cray needs to learn. Let's
Ugh.
just pound this shit. Let's just do this. Don't mind them.
And he looks at Kyra and he goes, "They're your heroes, aren't they?" And she goes, "Yeah, they are." He goes, "All right, yeah, no, dude, go be friends with the two-headed dog. Just she can heal you."
Two friends in one, Cray.
He looks at Kiana and he goes, or Kiki, and he goes, what was it? Which one was it? Kiana, Kiki. What was what Pythor said that I had to. What was it?
Kiki?
Okay. He goes, Kiki.
literally everyone but Pythor?
Yeah, literally everyone but Pythor. It's so funny.
The layers. Anyone who doesn't get why we're laughing, go watch like 3 episodes of Angst. And he goes, "All right, you got that hammer, right? Okay, listen."
Mm-hmm.
He steps up, he looks, he goes, "We're gonna be playing with magma, and it can hurt me, but you're not immortal, I don't think. Are you?" He looks at Kyra and Kyra goes, "I don't think so." She goes, "Yeah, I don't think so." He goes, "So you fuck up, you're gonna lose a lot of you, okay? And I can build you arms and legs, but it's just honestly, building replacement body parts for my assistants takes a really long time, and it slows things down. Okay?
Okay.
So listen, I'm gonna tell you to do things. You're gonna do them. And if you pick up something along the way, that wouldn't surprise me. Ready?"
I'll be like the perfect student because I want to learn everything. I don't want to mess anything up. So yes, I'm not going to do anything to piss him off, at least not on purpose.
All right, the rest of you get out of here. Kiki wants to focus on learning all of this. She said she can't work with you guys in the room. And Kyra
I'll
goes,
just kind of look at them and was like, no, but
You'll be fine,
It's
Kiki. Good
distracting
luck.
before it doesn't hurt my feelings.
Can we like move that trap now? Because I don't want us to be like going in and out of that
"You guys
freaking
can
hallway,
Mhm.
and like all of a sudden be like, uh-oh. So, you want your trap back there, Kiki?
just put it aside. Just maybe gently move it off to the side and...
Okay, we'll put it by the treasure.
Well, I mean, the treasure's in the middle of the room. We're going to be walking around it, so no.
Oh, I thought it was down back here. Okay, but I was wrong. Okay, well we'll just move it out of the way.
Yeah.
Alright, you guys move the trap, by the way. Kiki, you and Vulcan are the only one in the room. Vulcan comes over and goes, come here. See that? And he's pointing there's this magma flowing through the forge. He goes, this stuff's gonna burn you if you're not careful, but it's gonna be worse if you panic, okay? So I need you to get used to it first.
Okay.
So I'm gonna heal you, but I need you to put your hand in that real fast. Just keep it there for a second, okay?
Well, I gotta do it.
Are you doing it?
I will.
You put your hand close to the magma, and you can feel the heat, your hand's already starting to burn, just being even a foot away from it. And are you committing to this?
I am.
Alright, you go.
I'm gonna trust this old crazy fart.
And you put your hand in, and he grabs your hand, and he pulls it back, and he looks at you, and he goes, alright, we're gonna get along fine. I need some of that adamantium over there. And he throws your arm back at you and just sort of sends you out of the way. And he goes, I just need you to get some of that adamantium over there.
Okay. Jesus.
Meanwhile, he needed to know how in it you are.
Yeah.
Krarin, if you're trying to,
None of us were there to see that? None of us were there to see that, right?
He just needed to know what Kiki would do one-on-one, the stupidest fucking thing he could imagine while answering to Vulcan. Kraven, are you gonna try and make friends with one of the dogs then?
Yeah.
Roll an animal handling check. You will have to roll very high. I've done this in another campaign with the Alley's in. I will tell you the same thing I told the other person. You can absolutely try and make one of these people your friend, a crazy, dangerous animal your friend. I will make you roll animal handling checks constantly until I feel like the animal would be your friend. And if your animal handling check does not pass, I reserve the right to remind you that they are a dangerous villain animal.
Yep.
Anything I can do to help, or?
Sure, yeah, if you want to help. Yeah, if you want to do the help action.
Yeah, help action.
Okay, how are you helping?
I'm gonna play soothing music. Try to keep... In fact, you know what? I've got a spell slot for it. I will go crazy and cast Calm Emotions.
Oh boy.
Try to keep everybody...
I have to tell you guys, how much I planned this session, I thought getting Vulcan here... I always misgauge time. I thought getting Vulcan here would take 15 to 20 minutes, and then we'd move on. And I spent the whole session planning for what happens once you guys leave this room.
We haven't left the room.
Yeah.
Yeah, never. We live here now.
I'm so sorry if I'm slowing things down. Kraven, I want you to roll animal handling with advantage.
Okay. Oh my god, guys. Alright, let's see. So here's the first one, because my thingy isn't working. And this is my next one. So I hit a 10 and a 21. Ooh.
21.
Holy shit.
Okay. So, do you still have any of that pocket bacon or anything else? Meat or anything?
Do I be crazy and because I'm pretty sure we said a few sessions ago I didn't have any more pocket bacon.
Let me start this way.
I have rations.
Okay, at a 21, you can basically get the dog to maybe come and follow in your direction and not eat you or other people while doing so. Do you want to flavor how you made that happen at all?
Yeah, you know how in those dog rescue videos where they kind of come up kind of close and kind of throw little bits of meat or whatever until it starts coming closer and closer, you can touch it.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like that, but it's just basically following me around because it just knows I have food.
Alright. Oh man, this is great. This is the movie as good as it gets. This is fantastic. This is good. So you're so basically this one dog. What do you want to name it? It doesn't have a name. And it also can't speak a language. The small ones can't talk, so it's just for yourself.
Oh jeez. I'm gonna call.
I'm gonna put in universe. The first time that dog walks to you, whenever you lead it, the first time that the dog successfully goes where you're trying to get it to go, Kyra just goes, "What are we naming it?"
Oh, I was thinking about this for a little while, and you know what? I really like Jelly and Bean. What do you think?
You want You want to name both the heads Jelly and Bean?
Well, this'll be Jelly,
Uh-huh.
and that'll be Bean.
Oh.
Together they can be Jelly Bean or Bean Jelly, whatever hits your fancy. Or JB,
I've never
or
had either.
B,
I've never had a Bean Jelly. But
or BJ.
no, well, that's a fun name. That makes more sense than whatever Bean Jelly is.
But Jelly Bean.
No,
Absolutely.
If you want BJ, that's fine. You can just say that. But I think that we can go Jelly and Bean if you want.
Yeah, let's name them Jelly Bean. It works either way. I've been thinking about this for a little while.
She looks at you and goes, how long have you been thinking about this?
Oh, since we got in the mines and in, and then out, and then in, and then out.
Down and she goes, do you like being called Jelly Bean? And she reaches out and when she does, both of the dogs just try and bite at her hand. She goes, okay, you're with him. And she looks at you. She goes, you're really good with animals. I think it's sweet. Is there anything that you want to be doing right now?
We're in a dwarven mine. I have to imagine there's a bunch of dwarven about. I would like to try to learn dwarven, or at least start.
Fucking beautiful. You guys will make a whole session out of a room. It's incredible. I want you to roll, I'm going to say history. That's as close as I can get to academic. Roll history, and if you pass this, I can give you the gist of Dwarven. In the sense, okay. 16. You cannot speak Dwarven. If someone was speaking to you in an even voice, you could probably get a general vibe of what they're saying. Over time, if you want to study here in different long rests and short rests or somewhere else, I will let you build it up until you can speak Dwarven as a language, but it will take time. If you guys want to, level up any specific thing that isn't really given a rules path in the game, like a language, like a dog pet, then it's just basically my rule is extended exposure and skill checks. So you're getting the gist of it. I would say you would start with the words on the walls. I'm gonna say you know the names of most weapons and most races that would factor into the weapons, and that includes humans, elves, and dwarves, as well as the things they would hunt, like minotaurs and dragons and things like that. So you know what I mean. I'm botching it a little bit, but you would know most of the proper nouns related to this place, and sort of picking up the vague gist of a sentence. Callie, is there anything that you want to do in the most bizarrely structured episode ever that I love?
Well, once I've kind of helped Cray initially by getting everybody chill, I'm just gonna spend the rest of the time writing and editing,
That's fair. That's fair. Do you want to write a name for the salamander?
Yeah, I will take Alexandria.
Wonderful.
It's just circled several times, just in the margin somewhere, so I'm trying to figure out ways to make a pretty turn of phrase, and then I'm also brainstorming neat little couplets about Kiki learning how to forge, so that way over the next couple of days, if we stick around, I can just kind of keep throwing them at her to brainstorm and hopefully give her some bardic inspiration while she's working.
This is good. Are you giving her bardic right now or later?
No, I'm out until a long rest, but I'm just
working
prepping.
on the chain gang. Things are going down.
Yeah.
The chain gang.
Vulcan's giving you directions and telling you what to do, and at one point he sort of lets you strike the hammer at certain points on the metal that's coming out, but it's got a very you can lick the spoon vibe to it, because he's doing most of it. But at one point he's just gonna be like, all right, that's done. This next person I'm gonna need you to smash your hand with a hammer just repeatedly until you pass out.
I'm gonna start.
When are you going?
When are you gonna understand? I'm learning. I want to do what you're teaching me.
You're an idiot. Roll insight. Roll insight for a second.
Okay.
Yeah.
3.
Is it 3? At a 3, it's really hard to tell what he means by that, because I did put subtext under that, but it's really hard to tell what he means, and he's just sort of like, "You're an idiot," and then he just sort of lets go of your arm, and then he just.
And then I'll totally say, yeah, we're related. What's next?
Okay, I guess that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. Then I guess I'm sorry about that.
No problem.
And he looks over and he just looks over at the fortune and he goes, "You know, I did leave this up just in case, because I want people to be okay. But that was due diligence. But you always hope that you don't have to come back to these things. And my daughter, she feels sad about things all the time. She's very emotions, but
She feels deeply.
yeah. But honestly, I don't do all that, but it would be good if I could leave it behind and let it stay behind. And if the worst thing that I did here in the last 500 years was keep one person here, then it's a lot less than what it was than the things that I did 500 years ago. You know what I mean? Okay. That's my sharing for the day. I would tell you to go drink magma, but honestly, you terrify the shit out of me. You're so dumb. Okay. And he just like heads over and he's like, you know, go break that down so I can use it. Starts giving you some more orders. They're gonna be in there for at least 2 days. So do you guys want to fast forward to 2 days later, or do you guys want to do 2 days of downtime? And if you do the latter, I will come up with some things for Tammy so that she's not left out. But like, I'm just saying, we're at a juncture right now where we could fast forward 2 days, or we could have 2 days of downtime.
I just want to keep trying to get that dog to be my friend.
Fantastic.
I think.
Jen saying that, not Cray.
I think
Just to clarify.
I would keep on keeping on with trying to learn the Dwarvish, and if that means going up, say, to the living quarters and seeing if I could find anything else in Dwarvish. But apart from that, you know, I would just basically be cooking and making sure that they eat when they need to.
Wonderful. Okay, we can fast forward this. So, if I'm reading the vibe right, then I think the last question is, Allie, what do you want to have done over the past 2 days?
I think probably mostly just writing, kind of processing everything that Kyra said and like where I'm at, you know, in terms of like helping people and feeling frustrated about it. And just I want to have continuously, as much as possible, tried to help folks, even if it's just with Bardic, by like workshopping out loud my like different things about like Krarin having a puppy and Euphemi and learning Dwarvish and Kiki learning how to forge. And then also just mostly I want to keep my eye on the Cerberus and keep the bow in reach, just in case.
Kiki, is there anything that you want to... I don't imagine you have a lot of free time, because Vulcan is not a real active, tenacious fella, but he does have the stamina of a god, so his like work hour days are like 19 hours long. But is there anything that you want to have tried to do in your scant break times or anything like that in that time? Tammy. Oh, you're muted.
Sorry, I did not catch that.
Oh, I'm sorry. What I was saying was, Vulcan isn't going to give you a lot of break time because he's doing stuff, so you can't like have a full-fledged hobby like the others. But is there
That's
anything
fine.
that you want to say you have done in those 2 days, and like the hour-long breaks you might have every 10 hours?
What I'll do is I'm not quite sure if the dock in the other room, like the water, is it like water level or is it like a deep fall and then a pool?
It's like a water level. Like it's completely.
Okay.
Yeah, you could like put a barrel in there and then go floating. You could
Okay.
go-
Well, no. What I was just gonna say is because it's hot in the forge and I'm a water creature.
Mhm.
Every now and again, maybe every hour, I'm gonna go soak myself in water and like soak some in, and then come back to the forge and do some more work just to keep myself hydrated.
Wonderful.
Basically, that'll be it, and then eat, and then at night.
Okay.
Real quick, actually,
What's that?
now that I'm thinking about this, does Kyra have a harp on her? Like a regular one?
I've never mentioned it, but she could bring one out pretty easily, like through magical means. I like to imagine that Kyra's bag is a very limited bag of holding for whatever she needs to put on a performance. I've never officially confirmed that, but it just feels right, don't you think?
Yeah. So I don't have proficiency with it, but I would like to at least mess around with a harp enough that if I am asked to play it, I don't have disadvantage. Would that be something I could do over the couple of days? Instead of
Sure, yeah. If she tutored you, and if she tutors you especially, we can get there.
Okay.
So yeah, she teaches you those things. Reed, I would say after a few days, yeah, you get to the point where you could basically read Dwarvish enough that if you were given the chance to read Dwarvish later, I would have you roll a history check, and you'd have to pass it to read it, which isn't a guarantee, but it's better than an immediate disqualified, is where I'm at right now. Jin, give me an animal handling check with advantage. And this single check is going to cover what you did over the past 2 days. 7. And crit 23. Okay.
Thank goodness, because I was like, damn.
I'm gonna say at this point, the dog kind of has that sort of understanding that you're like the alpha that it follows, but it doesn't really do any tricks or anything. It just understands that, like, by dog logic, that it's yours, and it's sort of following you around at this point. That's about as much as it gets.
So I realized, I just realized, I have tinkering tools. Could I, like, technically have made, like, a really crude collar for each of the dog heads?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
cool.
I think at one point, if you were doing that, at some point in the past 2 days, Vulcan would have seen you doing this and been like, "Yeah, that's shit. You need to make your own collar." He would have like thrown like scraps of like random adamantium like at your feet, and would have been like, and then after a moment realized like, "All right, you don't know how to."
No,
God.
no, I don't, but I'm just...
Yeah, sorry, I got work to do, I guess, but I tried. I head
Okay,
back to work.
thanks.
Sometime later, Kiki, as far as it affects you guys, Kiki, you would have the material to try and forge this if you dedicated actual, like, a full day to it or something in the future. You would be able to make an adamantium collar and leash for the jelly bean.
Are you planning on keeping this dog, Cray?
Well, it likes me now, so that's weird, but...
Does it like the rest of us?
No. The rest of you can roll animal handling with disadvantage.
Sure, let's give it a try.
I'm here. Woo!
Kiki, you rolled an 8 and a 5. You are not allowed anywhere near that dog.
Fine by me.
Euphemian, you have a 4 and an 18. Allie, was 14 your best or your worst?
Worst.
What was your best?
17.
Euphemian and Kiki are not allowed anywhere near that damn dog. Callie, you can get within arm's range of that dog as long as you don't use those arms to pet it. That is where you guys are. Kyra's not even trying. Kyra doesn't see a lot of benefits to that. The dog almost bit her hand off, and worst case scenario, if she gets mixed up in whatever Cray and Jellybean's story arc is, which she doesn't want to have a hand in. 2 days later, you hear Vulcan just go, his voice, The rest of you in another room. Voice. Yes! At last! It's ready. And then only Kiki hears this part, but he turns to Kiki and goes, "You get him from the chest. You gotta let him know."
Yeah!
There we go. There we go. And he sort of slaps you. He sort of backhands you on the chest, like way too hard, but it's clearly affectionately. And he's just like, and he goes, and he comes out. He goes, he holds the harp, and he's like, "Look, it's you didn't make this, but it's you were there. If you want to show them." And he holds the harp up to you. But yeah, Kiki, if you want to present the harp to the group, it is up to you.
How big is the harp? Is it like a giant stand-up harp kind of thing?
It's like a
lap
like
kind
a
of thing?
lyre. I think it's Let me see what the one I want to go for is. Yeah, no, it's okay. So it's large. No, it is larger. Sorry, it's the whole standing thing. So it's bigger. You could carry it, because you're strong, but it's big.
So I'll carry it into the other room wherever Callista is engrossed in her books or whatever. I will set it down beside her, and then I will go with a big bow. "My lady, your harp." Feeling absolutely ridiculous while I'm doing it too.
It's beautiful.
You're just gonna be an idiot the whole way through this, aren't you?
Don't call her an idiot.
Hey, gotta have fun.
I'll call my apprentice whatever I want.
Wait, what did he say? What did he call me?
What? Don't make this
weird.
Harp. And he turns and he goes back in the other room.
Thanks, Vulcan.
He's like,
"Yeah, thanks, Grandpa."
He just like thumbs up. He's leaving the other room. He's extremely proud of what he made. He does not want to sit around and talk about how pretty harps are. So he has reached the end of the train ride of him being interested in this project. But yeah, you guys are in there, and Kyra's just like, "Oh my gosh, that's beautiful." Callie? I mean, is she allowed to? She looks at Kiki. Is she allowed to?
Oh, I sure can't play it. Of course.
She's just looking at you expectantly.
Try.
Are you gonna try and play it then? You trying?
Yeah. Give it a shot. I'm not gonna try to cast anything, but
roll performance check.
Okay.
Play Freebird.
Anyway, this is Wonderwall. Ooh. That's 13.
13. At a 13, yeah, the music sounds okay. It's not perfect. It's not what you're normally able to do, because when you put on a show, in any sense of the word, it's fucking fantastic. But at a 13, yeah, it's competent, and Kyra just fucking beaming, just absolute, like the mom with the camcorder at school play.
Doing great.
Just like watching you play this.
Do the dogs start howling?
I'm gonna say that one of the dogs. I'm gonna say the other dog that isn't related to you is just sort of like wandering around, because the other dog just does not give a shit. But the one that's looking, one of them does howl. Bean howls, and Jelly just like lowers his head and just growls at the harp for a minute. Again, these are monsters that are here to kill you, so this is the friendliest you're gonna get. But when you're gonna pet it, and he lets you pet it as he growls at the harp. Callie, it sounds good. It works.
Good.
And let me be clear. When I say it works, I mean like you fucking learned how to play an instrument in 2 days. Like that's great. And so when you're playing this harp, the scene around you of the dogs growling and Kyra beaming, and as you play this, you feel, what emotion are you feeling right now?
Probably anxiety, for the first time in a long time since I've played like an instrument.
Okay. When you rolling this, you can almost you feel like the howling wind, and your mind drifts to that as you play this, and you can feel like your mind and your heart are kind of just in an abstract sense, just howling and moving rapidly through this harp at this moment, and everyone around you feels this kind of a sharp, cold breeze clear through the room in a moment. Um, and you begin to understand, yeah, when Vulcan forged this, and when Kiki forged this with Vulcan, it was infused with finest metals and also the um, the magics that they are able to channel down here and imbuing it with being who they are. This harp, um, when you are attuned to it, can be used once a day to channel your emotions into the weather. You may cast control weather once per day. And when it does, it is an expression of your own mind at the moment. I will give you full narrative control over how that plays out, but that is what happens. Um, as you are doing this, um, I would say when you open your eyes from playing the music, you come face to face with a tiny little thing. At the edge of the harp, this little squirrel's looking at you. And sort of runs back and scampers under the harp in like this way, like like the sort of cartoon way where someone can hide behind a tree that's too small for them. Like this squirrel runs along and then just winds around until eventually it's literally physically disappeared into the harp. Um, in time, you will understand that too, as your state of mind comes into play whenever you conjure animals with this thing. Once per day, you may use this harp, either to control the weather or to conjure animals. And if I try to describe one animal that I would say matches with anxiety, I would think of a squirrel.
I'm sorry, are you telling me I have access to conjure animals?
You have access to conjure animals and control weather once per day whenever you sit down and play this harp. And it manifests in the form of what your mindset, of what you will very quickly learn how to control your emotions when you're doing this, but it is a manifestation of your emotions. I think I broke Allie.
You guys don't understand. It's probably my favorite spell for my druid character.
Tammy's mom, he called Kiki his apprentice, and then immediately regretted having any sort of friendly terminology for her, and left the room. Yeah.
Can I add it to my equipment then?
Yes, it's quite heavy. I'll give you the stats for it later. Please ping me before next week so I can get you the exact stats. But I will get that for you. Actually, let me see. So Vulcan, at this point, I think Vulcan would basically come back and go, alright, so it works, and, what, did you use it, then? Kyra goes,
She made a squirrel appear. How'd you do that?
That's what's in your heart right now, a squirrel?
Hey, I played a new instrument in decades.
Okay. And he just goes, it's good, it's good. I'm glad you like it. I'm glad. He's like catching himself, whenever someone says something rude to family member accent, he's like, I'm glad you like it. It's good. You played it well. Kyra goes, she played it great. He goes, listen, did you guys want me to make you anything else while I'm down here?
I believe we have the axe and the shield and perhaps the breastplate. But
yes, that to be making fixed too.
So
but we need to get
right,
to Mitros.
So which one do we want me to make first? Well, I can make one, and you guys can come back and pick it up, because I didn't want this thing to be active again, but I mean, if it is, it's pretty fucking fun.
Well, Kiki, I guess that's up to you, really.
Added it to your list. I'm gonna tweak it a little bit. It only has conjure animals and control weather. It says there are other spells there, but I don't think that's accurate. Yeah, those. Oh, no, it does. Whew. It can also give you jump, invisibility, and levitate.
Oof, nice.
I'm gonna see if there's more than one use.
It's probably one total.
Yeah, it's only one spell per day. You can get one of those per day.
That's how my loot works too.
Mm-hmm.
Or my lyre. My lyre.
Hey, now you have 2 liars.
It's a loot. Sorry.
Incredible. Yeah, you guys, I'll tell you right now that you've hit the point where you can forge weapons. The shit you guys have access to is gonna jump up. Because like he said, that shield briefly allows you to channel the power of the head of any enemy whose head you severed exactly once. Like you guys are gonna get access to some crazy stuff. But yeah, he's gonna ask you like, what do you guys want?
Which do you think we should do first?
Well, do you want to take the armor with you?
Perhaps.
I mean, if I take the breastplate off, it's only 1 that comes off, and the shield is 2 that comes off of my AC.
Sorry, 1 second. Okay, I'm sorry. I got a message I didn't understand. He looks at you when you're talking about the armor, and he goes, "Oh, this piece of crap," and he sort of like, are you sure you're wearing the armor right now?
No, we'll say I have taken it off. I've put the armor and the shield on the counter.
He looks at you, he goes, this is a mess right now. This isn't anything that I meant it to do. Does that... Okay, look, what Euphemian, right?
Yes.
Euphemian? Okay, look. That armor looks so beautiful that it melts your heart and makes you... It just makes you see wonderful things.
It was in a tomb for quite a while. I do believe that there's some accounting for that. It's very nice.
Does it melt your heart when you look at it and make you think of wonderful things?
Not at the moment.
See, it's fucking... Here's Kiki, because it's fucking broken.
And then let's fix this one then. I'll leave the breastplate.
I'm just saying you guys can do what you want. Just like don't... If you're gonna wear things and say that Vulcan made them, don't embarrass me when you do it.
Oh, no, absolutely not. Go ahead, let's do the breastplate first. Absolutely, you're right.
He picks up the breastplate and he looks at you and goes, "Are you coming?" And yeah, this one will take longer. So he's asking if you're ready to commit another 2 days here with at least Kiki.
I am.
Let me put it this way: he's assuming that Kiki will.
Oh yeah.
But are we
Kiki
supposed to
will.
return to Mitros, remember?
Well, maybe the 3 of us could go.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Kiki.
Not that I want to split the party.
Bring me back some rations. I'm getting kind of low.
Kind of stinks.
How many days do you go without food?
Well, I have 10 rations.
No,
So
he's
10 days?
asking you how often you eat.
Whenever I'm hungry. Maybe a couple times a day. I just take a couple bites here and there so that I can keep working.
He goes, "Oh, okay." And Kyra goes, "Dad," and he goes, "She knows when I'm joking. You know when I'm joking, right?"
Me? Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay. Come here, whenever you put nails through your head. And he just sort of walks down the hall.
I'm going to take out
I
the
will-
armor, the mithril armor that we got, and I'm going to give it to Kiki. In case you need armor, or perhaps we can scrap it down and make something more useful for the party.
Oh, one of the other things.
Wait, what did you give him?
Mithril
What'd you give him?
things.
The mithril chain shirt that we found.
Ooh, nice. Very nice. Yeah. He can melt that and make a mithril weapon if you wanted to.
Ooh, I would like that. Well,
And I think when he's looking through it, he goes. I think at this point, the dog. I think 2 days later. I'm gonna say that later the Cerberus is gonna walk in and look at you guys and sort of walk around and sort of circle around and fall asleep on its pile of gold. And I'm gonna retcon in that basically over the last 2 days, it sort of learned that it just sort of has to not fuck with you guys. Basically, because Vulcan has made any time that it's awake in the room and it's just Vulcan and Kiki. Vulcan won't be nice. He won't be nice or playful. He'll just make it very clear that he's like, hey, we're still here. Don't make me cave in your skull. Anyway, Kiki, what you do is this. And just like over time, and it just sort of developed into like they're not friends, but they are very acutely aware of how to stay out of each other's way. Not entirely safe to be in this room without Vulcan right now, by the way.
This is Tammy wanting to ask a question. These weapons that we are fixing and reforging, are they going to be going back to someone, or are they meant for us to use and keep? The reason I ask is because if he is giving me this mithril chain shirt, we are able to make a mithril weapon +1. But if this axe that we're going to fix is essentially going to kind of be the same, because we're going to be, is he able to infuse it back with magic? Is it going to be the same?
This axe. Okay, let me break it down this way. I think I'm going to answer a couple different questions at once.
Okay.
The axe, most of the items that you have, I didn't include the ingredients for them because he wouldn't list them all. But they require some ingredients, and some of these ingredients are fucking bizarre and rare and stuff like that. I say that to say the axe is made of don't worry about it, anium, which is a material that you guys aren't going to be able to get in this campaign. This axe is truly unique. You cannot make another version of this axe because that's on a whole other planet with a bunch of blue people. So the point is, the axe is one of a kind. The axe is not an especially good axe. He did not clarify what he meant, but he said this is meant to help you guys fight against titans and truly great beings. And outside of it, it has significant passive abilities when you're in the presence of such a thing. It is not just an especially sharp axe. It does some shit. You can't transfer that to anything else. The other thing is...
Okay, right.
And the other thing is, I'm trying to remember all your questions. Pharisee never told you guys what these things are for. Like I said before, it is a very safe assumption that you guys are supposed to equip all of these and like fucking charge, but no one has ever told you guys officially what they intended you to do with any of these items. So it's up to your interpretation. Does that answer your questions? I think it does, but did I miss anything?
Yeah, then
your
I
hair
think
is
what
great with those cat ears. I've been like, I want to focus on the game and not like surface stuff because I'm trying to focus on storytelling for you guys. But I have to tell you how great your hair looks in general and with those cat ears. It has to be said.
Well, and the thing is it looks blue here, but it's actually really purple.
No, I can tell the purple. It looks great. No,
okay. Okay. Well, then in that case, I will, hopefully, I can manage. I would like to make myself, or fix my great axe that I already have that is not this one here, as the mithril weapon +1.
Okay, so you want to melt down the chain shirt you have, and then do some shit and make it the axe of mithril +1 axe. I think when you tell him that, first of all, I need to figure out how long that'll take in time, because there's a whole
Does
thing
the
with
conversation happen somewhere where I could hear it?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Because we're better right now.
Because my armor class is not great.
Okay.
So just I don't know if I could even wear that armor, but if that would be easier than adding another thing to the queue.
I thought
you want the armor instead of an axe. You would rather have the armor than her making an axe.
No, if instead of melting, I see, because it would be an either or. Never mind. I meant like instead of adding something to the queue by melting down the armor and adding another item, like maybe I could wear it. But if it's yeah, never mind. I misunderstood what was going on. So
Yeah, I think
never
when
mind.
we got it, we determined you couldn't wear that.
Yeah,
specific
never
garment.
mind.
Yeah. Okay. If that resolves that, I will say if you mention this to him, he's just gonna be like, he'll just say, well, if you, does it have to be an axe? Can it be something else?
I mean, I could take a great sword. I just like big weapons that make big ouchies.
You are, first of all, you are the right kind of dumb. Don't ever become any other kind of dumb.
I'm gonna just look at him like, the hell?
I will say over
over
the last 2 days, it has become increasingly obvious that his insults for you are kind of a term of affection in his mind. Like it's genuinely just playfully ribbing you at this point. But he will never, like how well he's convinced people that he's a delirious idiot back home. That is the level of commitment he will have to this bit. That he thinks you're an annoying idiot. But what was I gonna say? He is gonna say that. Let me see. I'm trying to find a specific thing I want him to say though, and I gotta make sure I get it right. Yeah. He just goes, okay, because if you want big and you don't need like an axe, like I don't know why you don't just take the dog's thing over there. And he points over to the pile of treasure. And he goes, I know what that handle is. I assumed you guys left it there for a reason.
Well, we didn't want to risk pissing off the dog by touching its stuff. We actually, what is it?
It's an. You have weapon. You're fighting a war. You have weapons right there, and you wanted to respect the dog's feelings. The dog looks up and he goes, "Oh, shut up." It's
well. See, we can't exactly do that. I don't think he would have. That would have been well received with just us.
Yeah, he would have eaten you. That's a good point. Yeah, that's fair. Listen, it's, by the way, it's adamantine, not adamantium. My bad. I got worlds confused. But he goes, because it's an adamantine trident in there. Like it's an unbreakable trident. If you wanted to do anything with that.
How much damage does it make?
I'm gonna pull it up. Basically, he will explain to you to fast forward some things.
Yeah.
This trident has the stats of a regular trident, but if you are using it, basically it does not break when push comes to shove. And mechanically, what that means is if you are trying to use it against inanimate objects that are by no argument alive, rules lawyers, then it does double damage. Every hit counts as a crit. Every single hit against a thing that's in no way an object that in no way, shape, or form is alive is registered as a crit no matter what you roll. He also points out that there's 6 adamantine javelins in there as well.
Well, I'll definitely grab those.
Mm-hmm.
Once I see that the dog's not paying attention, I'll kind of grab them and move them aside to the other room. Like when I go for doing my little bath and my little refreshing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So you said 6 adamantine javelins?
Javelins, yep.
I'm gonna fucking grab those.
This is my favorite. Get a bunch of weapons there. And so yeah, he just he finds those. He goes, those are good. If you need to, like, you can use those like siege weapons and like sometimes like minotaurs or satyrs or something. They'll like have different like weapons and devices that like they can use to like when they're fighting you. And did you throw those javelins? You can just break them really easily. Kyra goes, Dad, and he goes, or anybody's weapons you could break. I don't know what this new war is.
Really liked Esther, huh?
What? What'd you say?
Nothing. I didn't say anything. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I'll be over here with my harp. Thank you.
Is she gonna be like this? He turns to Kiki.
However,
Part of her
that
charm.
Just
bring up the possibility that, if Callista does require additional protection, perhaps some kind of changing the chain shirt into some kind of armor that she can use would be useful.
Yeah, if we are able to do something like that, I would certainly do that.
What would you need to make something that would help Cray heal?
What I gave you the menu, so what would you want from the menu?
What did you say it was, Reed?
The Amulet of Health?
Because I mentioned I mentioned the Staff of Healing for me, but I think if Cray has something on him,
Amulet of Health, yeah.
I have decided on the fly that I want every conversation with Vulcan to be that conversation that technically works because you don't want Thanksgiving to be a failure. I am just putting all of that energy into this. So the Amulet of Health, let me see. The Amulet of Health, that's not a healing thing. Let me double check what it is. It would take you 200 gold worth of supplies, 5 days without an assistant, or 3 days without an assistant. 5 days without an assistant, 2.5 days with. I have to go double check the math, so I'm winging it, but...
Could we substitute gold for supplies, or would we have to go out and acquire specific things and then come back?
If you basically could just debit that gold from your amount, then we can...
Or there's a whole pile of it. I mean, if Vulcan is going to give the death glare to the dogs, I've got the javelin.
I also have
their stuff.
I also have the ring.
The ring?
I found a ring when you found silver in the dwarven beds or whatever, so I also have that ring.
Whatever. I'm gonna grab a couple coins here from the dog's pile when he's not looking, when he's going and relieving himself, and...
Yeah, but you're taking stuff, so what's that,
I don't give a shit right now. With Vulcan with me?
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna leave Kiki with Vulcan, you can do all of this when we're not here to judge you.
If you take gold from the dog's gonna be really pissed, and the dog's attitude is basically gonna be man, the second that guy leaves, and nothing else. He's gonna give you a look to quote Clue, someday when we're alone together.
Not in a fun way.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? So,
so what does the amulet do?
The amulet sets your constitution rating to 19, overriding anything else. It has no effect on you if your constitution is above 19.
Oof, my con is shit.
Yeah, so that would actually be a pretty big deal for you. Everything above on the menus, the rest of the items on the menu requires some sort of rare ingredient that I did not list. Yeah, I think that's it. You would have access to Mithril, so you can make the chainmail of the weapon. Everything else requires some sort of legendary item, or the bridle would require a lot of gemstones. Sorry. I left off an important thing. Sorry, the session's got a weird flow to it. I apologize for that.
We're with Vulcan. It's understandable.
You guys can make most magic items you can use this to craft magic items within the using the Xanathar's Guidebook rules. You can craft any magic item in there that you can justify building at a forge, and they go faster the more knowledge you're applying and the more Vulcan's helping and stuff like that. But they just go a lot more quickly. If you want to make anything else in the game that you could make at a forge, you could do it. This is the place where you build the stuff of legends. You would just need significant gold and time to make it happen. I assume that I just killed my own campaign when Reed gets time alone with a book. telling you that you can make your own magical weapons and items at an accelerated pace is going to be something I deeply, deeply fucking regret. But that's true, because I want you guys to know, like, the amount of stuff that you can make at this forge is fucking vast, and the things that I gave you on the menu are just like the creme de la creme that you would need Vulcan's help with.
Well,
Even if it's at the end of the queue, I do want that staff.
Well,
But we can talk about that later. That's
So what are you guys putting in the queue right now?
Yeah, I think we were gonna start with the repairs, right? And then whatever Kiki's doing with the mithril for her weapon.
Mm-hmm.
So I think forge is probably a lot.
Okay. So all of the weapons and then the mithril thing. Okay. And Kiki, you're staying here for that time?
Yep.
So that's at least 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. That's at least 9 days. That's at least a week. And we'll round off a couple details later. So that's at least a week of downtime for Xanathar's guide if you guys want to do downtime later. What's up, Reed?
well, I think if we can, we should hit the road and just leave Kiana and Vulcan.
Vulcan's
So-
like, oh right, you have to. He looks a little disappointed, and he's like, oh yeah, you have to. You guys have like this whole adventure thing you got going. I mean, do you need this one with you? He doesn't even point to anybody, but he just goes, do you need this one helping you out?
I mean, they kind of do. No
She's
offense,
like-
guys.
She's like our muscle, so like, yeah.
Okay. Well,
I mean, look at us. What do you think?
no, I get it. You need her, and if she's with you,
hey,
she's gonna.
you know, I can hit some things too. Is the
So
dog's
your
like
fist?
is like one head looking on one side of my hip and then the other head
I'm
looking
down
on the
with
other
that.
side of my
I'm down
hip?
with that. Yes.
So
Yeah,
I'm
get
like,
the
hey,
dogs.
hey.
And he goes, okay, you got a guard dog. Are you still using your fist for everything?
Well, when I punch things and I try to pet, I don't know, can I pet both heads at the same
Yeah,
time?
that's fine.
Okay.
And when you do that, one of them looks up at you like, why am I not biting your fucking hand off right now? The other one's like, oh. But he just goes, okay, yeah, take her with you. That's good, because now she won't be like tripping over all the scrap that she leaves out and everything, so that's good. He goes, I'll get this stuff done. And Kyra goes, thanks. We'll be back. And don't kill the dog? I don't like that I have to ask that. He goes, you don't have to ask that. He goes, he looks at Kyra, he goes, "Come here." Kyra walks over to him, and he sort of lowers his head, like lowers his head, puts his forehead to her forehead, and just like pushes her, and he just says something really quiet for a second, and then he like lets go, and he goes, all right, I'm gonna get this stuff done. You got everything for it.
So what am I leaving with currently?
You're leaving with the harp and the rest of the stuff. You don't have any other. If you have the adamantine javelins and the trident, you can take those, but you don't have any other Vulcan creations in the meantime.
Okay. Javelins, I was trying to look for them and I don't see them specifically.
I'll put them in your inventory. Let me double check.
Okay.
But yeah.
And yeah, I'll take the trident.
Cray, you have a passive perception of 15. Yours is the best in the group. So I'm gonna say you heard whenever he was with Kyra. He just put his head there instead, like really quietly, really deeply. He just said, "Hey, you put together a good group and stop acting like you're not one of them." Okay. And then that was it. And then
I would like to hold back.
Okay.
And once everybody's left, I'm going to speak with Vulcan very briefly.
the book one.
The book one. I know that there are some hard feelings among the rest, but I'd like to say that I do appreciate your help very profoundly. happens to that one. I'm just gonna let that trail off.
And if something happens, you mean to Kiki?
No, to the dog.
Dog?
Oh, to the dog. Oh, something happens to that one. He goes. And he goes. I thought you're supposed to be the smart one, but you just came in here and threatened a god, holding a hammer in a place that he made himself. And he walks over to you.
I think you misunderstand me. I'm just saying that if something should happen to that one, and that
you want some?
Yes.
Okay, I see. Misunderstand. He goes, oh, I thought you were threatening him. So he just goes, he goes, yeah,
I don't know if it's sustainable.
listen, my daughter means the world to me. Okay? And I love her. But she's sentimental. And accidents happen. I don't want to break any promises. But I don't know everything that happens. I don't know everything that can happen down here. So I appreciate you speaking up. And what's up?
The Forge is a dangerous place, and we are at war.
Yeah, we are. Roll insight check.
Uh, 15.
15. He looks at you, kind of like you two understand each other. But also you see in his eyes, he's like, basically what he's looking at you, this expression on his face is like, man, you get it. And you get the choices that have to be made. Doesn't it just suck that these choices have to be made? So he's kind of a little bitter that he agrees with you, if that makes sense. And he goes, I don't know what you're talking about. I gotta get back to this. As he sort of slips back into his like not really understanding what's going on persona.
Okay, and I will go back and join with the rest.
He starts hammering away.
Euphemian, look at what I can do with this dog now. Jelly?
Two dogs look at each other. They sort of both look, and like I think the one on the one on the left and the right look up, and then the one on the left looks sort of growls at the one on the right, who sort of looks away. Like trying to remember which one's Jelly. I'm Jelly. Oh, okay. Well then I'm not looking. Okay, sorry. And they sort of look over at you, and then so Jelly looks over at you.
Go show Euphemian what I taught you, and it was like, you know how like when dogs they kind of like you can kind of train them to like hug each other. I just want to see the two heads kind of like come together, like they're leaning on each other and like look really cute.
They're not. We're supposed to keep away.
Roll an
Kiki
animal
and
check.
Euphemian.
Oh, you don't have to. You just
I'm
look at it.
I'm not going to allow that.
Roll an animal handling check.
Okay. Just a straight up.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Kiki was just gonna ask.
Yeah.
13.
They immediately start barking at each other and growling
boy.
and arguing with each other just
It's
on
okay.
the spot.
Are you making them come with us, Cray?
No, they'll stay here.
Kyrie goes,
Okay,
Jelly and Bean are
thank God.
friends. Jelly and Beans are part of our team now, aren't they?
No, they'll stay here for a bit. I'll leave a few of my rations here.
They're not part of the team?
Well, they're at home here. They've been here for 500 years. They'll be okay to be here for another couple weeks.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. As you just see her sort of, with her hand, give a signal, and like this little scroll that she has on the side rolls itself up and tucks itself back into the bag. Like it's not going to be used right now, like she thought. And she's like, no, that's good. That makes sense. So, you guys, do you want to just go back to Mitros?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think
Okay.
that's pretty much our direct route. As quickly
guys
as
get-
we can get there.
You guys get there as you head out. Vulcan by himself, just they're a bunch of idiots. Cerberus looks up and he goes, "Wasn't talking to you." Dog leans back down. He goes, "Good boy. What a bunch of idiots." So we're going to cut. You guys make it back to Mitros. I love how soft the session became, and I never turned off the ominous music for the setting. I have things to tell you guys in a minute. But you guys make it back to Mitros. The storm brewing over the sky and you see when you get there, just this lightning bolt crash down. And you guys remember enough about the previous sessions that I don't really need to clarify. That second the lightning bolt crashes down, someone's dead. Someone just died in the city that moment. And you guys have no way of knowing who. And it's just been like that for the past 4 days, I think you guys have been gone. At least. Counting the 2 days for forging and then the days that you guys took long rest to finish the dungeon. It's been at least 4 days of just Sidon just randomly killing people whenever it pleases him. You guys make it in to town. The clouds rolling in red above. You get your way to... Do you want to go straight to the palace or do you want to go anywhere else first?
Do we even have to go there? I would say first bit of shelter.
Okay. You get to the shelter, and Kyra just goes, "How many people do you think died?" I don't
Think
want
about that, Kyra.
to... I have to write it down.
I mean, it depends on how many people listened to Yefemi and stayed inside.
Okay, that's true.
I'd personally rather not know.
Later I have to go find all their names.
Is that by any kind of mathematics that I can do? The number that have been lost over the course of the past 4 days?
Too
is
many.
Still less than the number that would have been lost to starvation.
You're not wrong. But if there was 12 people out there, there are 12 stories with a final sentence that makes no sense. And she just sort of rears back and looks at Callista and she says, "You ready?" Callista, I'm gonna say you had time to attune the harp. Is there anything else you want to tell me before you play it, or do you want to just play it?
I want to just play it.
I said before, as a formality, we both know what spell you're using, correct?
Yes.
I said before that the way that this particular harp works is that it literally channels your state of mind into the weather around you. So, giving you full narrative reign of your own description. Callie, what do you do and what happens to the sky?
Okay. So I'm gonna kind of like shake out my hands a little bit. If possible, take a little bit of liberty to like breathe in and then start playing before I use it as the actual focus and cast the spell. And try to play something that is like peaceful and hopeful, and just think about like clear skies, not necessarily like upbeat and sunny, but just calm.
Pull an image from an actual image from your life that's not weather related, has nothing to do with weather, that you would conjure up if you were trying to think of peace and calm.
Probably before the campaign started. Honestly, like maybe the moment before being summoned. So that like life that feels like ages ago of relaxation and just living off of rich people in their homes. Just not having to want for anything and being able to just kind of relax all day in exchange for entertainment.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Do you want to be back there? This isn't a leading trap question. I'm asking the character of Callista if, hypothetically, again, this is not a trap, this is conversation. If someone told you right now that they had some spell scroll that would swap out the fourth member of the Oracle Prophecy, and no one would know, would you want to be back there? Okay. And that room, that person laying in your lap while you were, I believe they were, no, you were laying in their lap and they were feeding you grapes, if I recall.
Mm-hmm.
With a clear view of the gardens out in this rich estate. Halls empty, and the whole afternoon to yourselves until it wasn't. And as you look around, you can picture this, and you never took a moment to consider the sky then, but in your mind's eye, you can imagine the you that did look at the sky. And as you do, the rest of you, Callista's world almost melts away. She isn't aware of this next part, but the rest of you just hear this crackling through the entire sky, and the clouds just like almost looking like they're boiling and bubbling for a little bit, and roaring, and you see this eye looking out, looking out frantically as this clouds. It takes a good 30 seconds before you can, as from your view, tell that the weather is almost being ripped apart, and the clouds are being stretched out, thinner and thinner and dissipating, almost like being scraped away or clawed away, until you can see this eye and then close and lift back until there's just peaceful, tranquil sky above. The rumbling dies down, and it becomes obvious to you that what you were hearing and seeing were the death throes of a titan, a rival of the gods, realizing that they were being pushed back, and at that moment, with the resources given, someone capable of pushing them back. As he relents and relinquishes the sky to the one among you who's finishing playing a melody, and whose eyes open and looks up and sees the exact sky that she remembered before this all began.
I go run and hug Callista. You did it.
I was so scared I wasn't gonna be able to do it.
I wasn't. Kyra just says and just...
I'm gonna just like squeeze Crayrin and like do that thing where you hug someone but then they hug you back and then you're done but they won't let go.
Yeah, oh yeah, I was like, okay,
That's the
yeah.
moment that's gonna ensue from here.
I don't think there's ever been a hug. This is not official, of course, because Craven's not my character, but this is just as a fan of Craven. I don't think there's ever been a moment, the hug, that Craven didn't try to get out of prematurely and failed.
Oh my god, that's right.
I just mean for your whole life. I think, like, just hug someone, like, you're going, Reed, Reed, are you logged into Roll for Bull right now on the Discord or the Twitch?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I'm gonna send you a message. Can you put it in the chat? Just copy paste that in there. So Kyra looks up and she just goes, I think I'm gonna check my notes, but I think that's the first time we won. We won. That's a weird word. We gotta get a better word.
Certainly the first time it's been unambiguous.
So as Cal is still hugging me, I kind of pat Kiki and I'm like, good job. We wouldn't have been able to do this without you.
I'm just gonna like grab her and just pull her in.
Oh boy.
Group hug.
Hey, Euphemian, you aren't getting out of here without this. And I grab Euphemian and I pull him in.
Yeah, no, I was definitely not trying to get away.
on his way in.
Yeah, absolutely. Euphemian is big on the hugs.
Oh yeah, no, Cray's not, but he's like, for you guys, I'll do this. Yeah, okay. It's like a huddle. Yeah. It's like a very personal huddle.
Yeah.
Yep. Thanks.
Um,
Okay.
um, sorry. Yeah, as you guys, all the four of you hug, Kyra looks up and looks at the sky and just smiles and looks out, and you see some people like stepping out kind of cautiously, like it's very clearly gone, but also there was a death titan just killing them randomly a minute ago, so they're trying to marvel at the sky as carefully as they can, like heads peeking out of windows, doors slowly opening. And Kyra turns and looks at you guys and says, I don't think that my sister and the king knows where we are. We could just leave? Or we could go see them. It's up to you guys. It's up to you.
For celebrating, but I feel like we should let Euphemian kind of make sure that the king doesn't take credit where credit isn't due.
Oh yeah, I want to stick it to that old man.
He gave his word, and I think that people need to see that it's good.
As much as I don't care to take credit from the king, I do tend to agree. I do think that it's important that the people know that they are safe.
Okay, great. Because I was thinking that if we could do this, right, we can get all of you up at the top of the steps. All of you. And then maybe my sister can give you guys medals or something, and we get like a... Okay, think about it. Hold on, think about it. Everybody down at the bottom of the steps. And the four of you up at the top.
No.
Spaced out.
Let's just go.
This is a big deal.
Yeah, you can think about it on the way.
Okay.
Come, Kyra.
Fine. She just she follows you. I'm just gonna say for my own edification, completely describing the final shot of Star Wars: A New Hope. So
yes, I thought so.
Thank you. As you guys head there, you get back, and I'm gonna fast forward to you guys being in the palace, and King Acostus with his 3 assistants, look at you, and Valis is next to him, and he goes, and we're just going to cut to you guys explaining what you want to have explained. Is there anything you want to leave out, or you just want to tell them that you got the harp and you're done? Whatever. Or is it, I mean, we don't have to roleplay the whole thing, but if you want to, like, lie to him or something, I'm giving you a chance to do that now.
I mean, I think it wouldn't be a bad idea to just not mention that Vulcan's still there.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's a lie, but...
You know, we got there, we beat everything that we needed to beat. We'll leave out the fact that several things are still alive, because we beat everything we needed to beat.
And he's, so he would basically say, I will be honest, I wish that you all had taken one of the courses of action that would have happened sooner and resolved this sooner. But I asked you to do what you felt was best, and you did that.
Yeah,
and he's got like this box, like this large box next to his throne. And he stands up and he goes, I'm very glad that I assembled you. I think that I've put together a good team here. But he reaches over and he opens this box, and he goes, if you're the heroes of prophecy, then I will uphold my word to you. And I think that you've done well. So he pulls out this large weathered scroll, and he steps down the stairs. He goes, this is yours. I promise to give you a prize in knowledge and a map. And he holds it out. He goes, once you have this, I believe that we are balanced. He holds it out for any of you to take.
I will take it without trying to look too grabby, but also scrolls.
He goes, well, go ahead, open it. He's got this gleam, because he's really proud of what he's handing you there.
Okay. I will
and
look it over.
I told you what this was before? I can't remember if I told you what it was in a previous
The
session.
map to the Ultros?
Yes. So you look it over, and it is a map to a very strange place in a very strange ship, with notes on Ultros and the captain of it. We will get back to those soon. But he looks at it, he goes, "This is your part of the adventure now. I hope it goes well." And you just see like this resentment in his eyes, just like, fucking hell. And he goes, "But since you are the heroes of this adventure, I wanted to make sure that I paid homage to that. So I wanted to use my power, my resources as the king of Mitros. Maybe put together a festival or a parade in your honor. How does that sound?"
Gray keeps quiet, but he does not like that idea to take anything from this ass. But he keeps quiet.
He looks at it.
Callista's like visibly shaking with excitement about the idea of a party. But I will also stay silent.
Are you guys gonna say anything? Because he's looking at all of you waiting for a response.
I will offer that I believe I speak for everyone here that I appreciate the chance to take a brief respite. Perhaps no more a feast. But we must soon be on our way.
And he goes, "Great, then I will organize." And you hear this voice, "No, I don't think so." And you see her behind you, see Valis sitting, and again, she does look absolutely radiant. Just the most gorgeous woman ever, but just with this face of just like, very, I don't have time for this shit kind of thing. Looking at all of you guys, and she goes, doing her little Sherlock scan thing, looking you guys up and down and deducing a lot, and she goes, "No, I'm afraid that I must disagree with the idea of moving quickly. I dare say after everything that you've been through in the Forge," and she just fully underlines the Forge for you guys, she goes, "I expect that you would benefit from several days' rest in one place. So I say we should respect that. Husband dearest?" And he goes, "Yes, my queen. My wise and wonderful queen." She goes, "Would you agree that it's been entirely too long since the Great Thylian Games?" And that's where we're going to end this session. And we're going to end for the year.
Damn!
Is this the Olympics?
You are. You absolutely are. He is about to throw the Olympics in your guys' honor.
Oh my god. So fucking love it.
And just so you know, I had this so poorly paced out that I had planned my entire session around the Olympics.
Well, it'll be ready for next time.
Yeah. So thank you all for coming. If you are watching in Twitch, then you will see that we put in the Twitch chat a link to our Discord, because we have a Discord now where we can chat with everyone that's on this team, and also we'll be putting more information about the show, like art and behind the scenes stuff, and also we just want to hear from you guys. That's it for me. You guys are all level 5. Be level 5 the next time that we meet. Yes, Valis is extremely vain, but yeah, she is absolutely coming up with an excuse for you guys to get to rest for as long as it takes for the Forge stuff to be done, without anybody being able to accuse you guys of sitting around.
Yeah.
She's trying to buy you guys time. Slayers, you have the map. You have the map to Ultros. I also want to make it clear, you can absolutely begin. And I've got notes on all of this, so don't worry about that. You guys can begin next session leading into the games, or the games can be something that's going on where you go and look for the ship. Or you guys can just explore around Mitros, the biggest city in the campaign, and there's lots of adventures happening in there. You guys you're kind of hitting the true open world part of the campaign now. It only took you 6 months. Thank you guys very much. Do you guys have anything you want? I'm done on my end. So is there anything you guys want to say, ask, do?
Merry Christmas, I guess, and Happy New Year, everybody. And thanks for watching our show. Thanks for helping and just being with us this whole time. That's from me.
Yeah.
See you in
2022.
Hopefully 2022 goes better than 2021 or the technical issues on the stream. Reem, Reed, it seems like the stream actually went all right after you were in charge, so we're just not going to read into that.
I mean, I do have a brand new war horse of a computer too, so it may have something to do with it.
All right, let's just lean into that. Thank you guys. Happy New Year's, Tammy's mom. You're wonderful. You're kind. You're beautiful. I've never seen you, but just I can tell. Thank you guys. Man, I seriously thought that the Vulcan thing would be like 15, 20 minutes at most. And now, like, he's got a buddy in Kiki and all of this shit. Anyway, thank you guys. If you guys are, I'm done. You guys can say what you want to say.
When will you learn, Ben? When will you learn?
There's a reason why we call this roll for bull. You do realize that, right?
Yeah. All right.
Shall I take it?
Thank you so much, everybody.
Good night. Thanks, everybody.